So obviously I spoke to Tommy C yesterday. I watched like a half an hour of this before I spoke to him. Yes, and was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. And he was just saying so much stupid stuff. This was written, so not written. This was streamed. This hour-and-a-half stream occurred in the like 3-hour gap or whatever it was between when the Bloomberg article came out and when Dr. DisRespect admitted it. So at this point, right? At this point, when Bloomberg's coming out and they're saying, we have verified 2 anonymous sources with first-hand knowledge of the situation have said this was the reason for the ban. That's what was in the Bloomberg article. If Bloomberg fabricated that, if Bloomberg did not do the due diligence for that, and that ended up being a fuck-up, they would have been crucified. Dr. DisRespect is a huge figure. This is a huge story that has lots of eyes on it. Outside of just the streaming space, because it is at the top of... When something's at like the top of streaming, it starts breaching into mainstream. So mainstream eyes start looking at it. So when it's on Bloomberg, that's a big deal. They would have been crucified if they just went out and fabricated this idea that there were 2 anonymous verified Twitch employees, assumedly Twitch employees, people with first-hand knowledge that corroborated the idea that the ban was given for this allegation. See, I'm trying to be very careful with my wording here, because the point is that at that point, what was proven, really, was that was the reason Twitch gave. It wasn't proven that Doc messaged a minor. But anyone being reasonable, looking at the evidence, the reasonable conclusion to come to was not, yo, we need to hold off on this. It was, okay, I am confident that Twitch said the reason Doc was banned was because he was messaging minors. That Twitch said that that's the reason Twitch gave, that was fundamental in their disagreement. You should have been able to say that. And that's what I saw people pushing for. That's what I saw people pushing for. I didn't see a bunch of people saying, you have to assume this guy messaged a minor. I saw people saying, majority, at this point, you should be aware this is why it happened. Now, there's going to be arguments over the allegations and whether the messages were sexual enough to be considered, you know, explicitly sexual, or whether he was actually trying to meet up with the minor, or whether he just asked, hey, what are your plans at Twitch? Stuff like that, you know? There could have been arguments about this sort of thing. But it did seem that there was some kind of interaction that Twitch took to be a sexual interaction with a minor. And that's why they banned him. That's what they used to ban him. At least that's what they used. You could even say that. They used that to ban him. You could still have insane theories about what the reasoning behind that was, what their other motivations were. But that was the reasoning given. And you should have been able to call that after the Bloomberg article. To be honest, you probably should have been leaning pretty heavily in that direction beforehand. But once a mainstream article like that comes out, verifying details like that, yeah, okay, it's time to say, okay, yeah, this seems like it's the case. Not everything is YouTube drama. Not everything is Twitter drama. Not everything is a commentary video. Not every allegation do you get the text leaked. You don't always get the text leaked, especially not when it involves a minor. Especially not when it's been taken, double especially, not when it's been taken through the proper channels. You probably won't see the texts. So to sit there and be like, well, I haven't seen the text, I can't say anything. I haven't seen the text, I can't say anything. No, there are certain conclusions you can come to without having seen the texts. You can't make firm statements on what Doc said, but you can come to certain conclusions based on other sources that are verifying pieces of information. Anyway, with that in mind, we're going to watch Tommy C's 90-minute stream here, where he spends a bunch of time saying that Casey Tron and Vito are fascists. Now, I agree that Casey Tron was probably saying, just believe the allegations, just believe the allegations. Still probably not fascism. And Vito, I don't think Vito was saying, just believe the allegations. I don't think that was the case. I've seen Vito having a well-reasoned, though I will say, oftentimes aggressive and flying off the handle perspective. Lyrics is glazing you. Maybe you should switch your BF Becky for Lyrics. That's good to hear. What, is he on my side in his Tommy C review? Is he saying cream and dub? Because that's epic if that's true.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my
gay intro, don't care.
I don't know how the internet's gonna react, but the one thing that I kept finding strange is this demand to condemn him before the evidence came out. Now it's just cut the music. It's just good practice not to do that. Ask Alex. You know, it's just smart. Unless you're, well, I don't know, unless you're making things up. But it's like, why are they doing this? You know, why is that side of the culture war doing this? Like, what's the goal here? Now,
see, like, and immediately, we're not even 2 minutes in. This is so the big story at this point is it's basically confirmed that that is the reason Twitch gave for banning Dr. DisRespect. And immediately, all he's talking about is the culture wars trying to make me think a certain thing. The culture, bro. The culture war is just. It's so frustrating because not everyone is playing the game of the culture war, but people who are locked in to the game of the culture war think everyone is playing it. So Tommy thinks there's all these people on the other side, and everyone is this person on the other side. Everyone who doesn't agree with it, everyone who's being mean to him is the person on the other side. But no, there's a whole bunch of people who are just like, who have well-reasoned perspectives. They look at information and they have their own, you know, views that sometimes are left-wing and sometimes are right-wing, and they're complicated and have different perspectives. But no, it has to be, there's this culture war, there's this whole, everyone on the other side is dogmatic and they're trying to make me think something. They're trying to force me to think this way. But it's not the case. But it seems like once people get wrapped up in it, which Tommy clearly has, that's all they can fucking see.
Some of these people are affiliated.
Like he's on stream calling me a bread tuber. Like, I don't want to just sit here and talk about the debate from yesterday, but he's sitting there calling me a bread tuber. The guy's living in a paranoid delusion. Okay, no one who's watched me for more than 10 minutes will say, "Oh yeah, Kuihman's a bread tuber." You would have to be schizophrenic.
Twitch, they might have known it ahead of time. But, like, if I had inside information, right, and somebody was saying, making an argument that Dr. DisRespect might be
do you have a
innocent,
clip of that?
And I had, hey, Brittany Benning, maybe I should have gone out with him if he told us why. If I had...
By the way, do you know Tommy privated this VOD for a time, which he never does? People in his Discord briefly theorized it was because of how bad his take was. Yeah, I think that personally. How long was this actual stream? That's what I want to know. How long's the actual stream VOD? Could Tommy C send a screenshot of the back end so I can see how long the actual stream VOD is compared to how long his video upload is, so I know that if there's anything missing? I would like to see that. That would be epic. That would be epic, because he sounds fucking retarded for the entire duration of this that I watched.
If I had information that I couldn't reveal, that was under some kind of ethic or code, or I don't know, Twitch won't ever talk to me again if I release the information, and that's really my only source because I'm an esports journalist and I have to keep my connections, so therefore I'm just a puppet for corporations. Let's say,
like, see, look, he's rattling off saying Slash is a puppet for corporations. I don't think, obviously, if you guys just saw the debate yesterday, you would have only seen Tommy come in and briefly talk to Chud saying that Slasher got told by Twitch to keep it shut, to kill the story, and that was his conspiracy theory. But in this stream, he is just spitballing everything. He's like, "Oh yeah, Slasher's bought and paid for. Slasher has to do what Twitch want him to do." Well, okay, man. It's just total QAnon thinking. It really is. I don't know how else to put it. I don't. Because it's just like, it's some boomer who's terrified, like, has this horrible paranoid delusion.
yeah, I was that guy, right? I didn't shame them for going with information that wasn't available at the time that I had that I couldn't release.
I don't think that's true. Larix does not just glaze me. That's not true. I would love to think that. I would love to think Larix just glazes me. I love having undying, you know, support, cultists, if you will. That's what I'm looking for, frankly. However, Larix does give, when I've seen Larix talk about content that I've been in, he has given fair criticism and said, oh, I don't think that looks good. I don't think that argument's good. I've heard him do that plenty of times.
So I see like Anissa Joma, right? I think she knows. You know, she's dug in. She's with IW. She probably knows, right? I knew that there were people that knew. I at least knew one person knew that I was friendly with.
Raymond's transforming into Destiny. That's not true. Destiny says that his biggest fear in life is waking up and realizing that he's surrounded by yes men who just have psyched him up into believing his own bullshit. Destiny says that's his biggest fear. I say that's my dream.
2020. And by the way, I didn't talk either. Right? So why are all these people shaming before Dr. Disrespect commits suicide?
It's Destiny's reality.
All these others. True. Is this a part of the plan? Is this just something that kind of happens? It's just so strange to me. And I think one of my guesses, I don't think that was necessarily coordinated. I do think it had a lot to do with Doc's friends, especially Nick Merckx. And what did Nick?
It's all just an attack on Nick Merckx. That's what this is all about, really. It's about getting Nick Merckx. This is what I mean. He's just seen some they-them celebrating that Nick Merckx's friend is a pedophile. Not that he's even necessarily a pedophile that we know. But he's just seen a bunch of they-them, otherkin Twitter users being like, oh, Nick Merckx, your boy's a pedophile. We got your boy on sex assault charges. And it's triggered him. It's sent him into a fucking spiral.
What, you want us to become a fucking left-wing kook like you now? You want to become Vito? No. This was a 1-2 day story at best. The cat is out of the bag. And then I saw this. Or actually, it was Nick showed me. And I'm starting to think this has less to do with clout, maybe even less to do with politics or culture war than I thought. It has to do with how you see yourself and how others see you.
Oh my God.
And it's become too apparent to me, even more so than I already knew.
Thank you for the 1337 from Tommy C. Thank you.
That guys like Rod, Slasher, Anissa Joma actually do really think they're important beyond the sphere of being an influencer. Way beyond it. Like unhealthy, like they're egomaniacs. So this leak comes out, which I don't even bother looking at. Do you have any do you know what this leak entailed? I didn't bother it because it looked like this is not good journalism right here.
It was the leak entailed basically what your guess was that that the age was like 17. He didn't know the age, stuff like that. Okay. And then like the Twitch, it was a Twitch op, which they fucked up. They went to the lawyers. Lawyers like, we can't do anything with this. Yeah.
Wait.
Journalism right here.
It was.
So this leak comes out, which I don't even bother looking at. Do you have any do you know what this leak entailed? I didn't bother it because it looked like this is not good journalism right here.
It was the leak.
Okay, well, he's at least figured that one out. He at least figured that out.
Your guess was that
the leak entailed basically what your guess was. You mean the fanfic schizophrenic leak that claimed there was an internal coup at Twitch where two factions, both one anti-Dr. Disrespect and one pro-Dr. Disrespect, were fighting for control of the company in a successional Game of Thrones-esque scenario that purely revolved around saving a bunch of people's favorite content creator? You mean that one? That was Tommy C's personal theory, the one that he concocted in his head. Right, okay. Good to see we're firing on all cylinders. Okay, cool. Amazing.
That the age was like 17. He didn't know the age, stuff like that. Okay. And then like the Twitch, it was a Twitch op, which they fucked up. They went to the lawyers. Lawyers like, we can't do anything with this. Yada yada yada. Kind of what you were predicting a few days ago, or like a week ago.
Kind of what Tommy was predicting.
So
yeah.
So that was my guess.
He's like the Oracle.
Rod is saying this thing's legit.
No, he's not.
I guess.
No.
Three primary
saying
sources
the opposite.
on record to one of the most respected reporters, and no, he's saying that this is not legit. He's saying our side is legit. That's our side has sources. That's not a source.
Well, no shit. Then why would you? Then why would you respond to what Nick said? So Nick comes out.
Because his point is that having Bloomberg verified journalists, Bloomberg journalists verifying sources, is way better information than this email. He's pointing out that Nick suggesting that these are the same in credibility, which I don't think it was. I think this is a poorly worded tweet because I heard him talk about it more, and it sounded like what he was saying was that he already figured Twitch banned him for that reason. So I think what he's saying is that this changes nothing for him and that means nothing to the story for him. But I could be wrong. He could be saying something really dumb about this and could be saying that this is genuinely as bad as a Bloomberg article. A Bloomberg article is as bad as this. He could be genuinely saying that. I don't know. If he's saying that's really dumb. But Slasher says, basically, yeah, we've got verified primary sources. You can say journalists are corrupt. That's like a meaningless statement. This is like a totally meaningless statement. You do not get away, in mainstream journalism, you do not get away with fabricating claims. You can say people do, people spin stuff, people misportray, you know, maybe like the order of events or something to help a narrative. But in mainstream media, if you're Bloomberg, if you're Forbes, if you're WAPO, your New York Times, you do not get away with fabricating claims like that. You simply cannot go and say, I've spoken and verified, spoken to and verified first-hand sources who have given me this information. If that is not true, you will not get away with doing that. How many black people did Rittenhouse kill? How many retractions were issued and how quickly? By which journalists? Show me the exact articles and the corrections that you're citing there. Daily Mail is not one of these mainstream, like credible publications. It's a tabloid. It is mainstream, but you know what I mean. It's not a what would you call these? A broadsheet almost. Is it quite broadsheet? I don't know. It's different when it's online as well. I don't know words for it. Someone help me with the terminology here if you can. Yeah, but what would you compare a rag to? What would be like the other side? Reminder, Fox paid out $787 million for lying about Dominion voting, and they're not even real media. Media is sued every day for defamation and must prove the foundation for their stories. Yep, absolutely agree. The thing is that it is just conspiracy thinking. It's the idea that there's a bunch of people who are working against their own incentives. Because the thing is that for every, let's say, for instance, Cecilia here, who wrote this article, Cecilia D'Anilo, or whatever her name is, D'Anilio. CNN paid out to the MAGA hat kid in case anyone wants an opposite side. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Celia D'Anilo, whatever her name is here. For every, let's say she faked this. For every one. Thank you for the dono. I don't know who that came in from. Let me find my stream elements. For every one Celia D'Anilo faking a story, if she did, there's 6 other journalists at other publications who are itching to fucking hit one of the competition. This fucking organization, they fake their story, and here's the fucking proof. Here's how they fabricated that claim. They are desperate to do that. So there's got to be a bunch of people for this to not come out. There's got to be either an insane, effective cover-up, an actual conspiracy, or a bunch of people randomly working against their incentives. Which just, that's implausible. That's totally implausible. Remember, Clinton's White House couldn't keep a blowjob under wraps. Yeah, exactly, right? It's just the idea that there are these, you know, even this, they couldn't keep this under wraps. Everyone in the gaming industry has known this. Have become aware of this story behind the scenes over the last few years. They haven't actually been able to control the leak. No matter what cover-up you think Twitch did, if they did. They haven't actually been able to control this. Everyone's known about it, and it was going to come out. Like, controlling a leak is keeping it within a small circle of people. When it starts just proliferating around people in the industry and everyone knows it, and now it's getting into the ears of people who have either no obligation or allegiance to keep it quiet, or possibly obligation, allegiance, or incentive to publicize it, well, okay, well, now it's not controlled, is it? Now someone's going to fucking say something.
Somebody I would trust more than anybody that went to journalism school. This is about as credible as those 3 new anonymous sources in the Bloomberg article. Someone just post the fucking locks, because that'd be satisfied every way. Because I got news for you. I made the point that if they're
Slasher probably cried himself to sleep so many times because he hadn't published a story before now. Yes, 100%. You know this guy was on a rickety stool several times.
Dick jokes for a girl that's 17. And there's no flirting, and they'll probably look the other way, even though it's way creepy. I think the internet would have looked the other way. I think that ship sailed. Yeah. And I'd be perfectly honest with you. I think there's almost no chance that he didn't know. Almost none that he didn't know, and he was biting the forbidden fruit. Old Dr. Disrespect. He was fucking around with it. More than likely, that's it.
Wait, so was this after the admission? He was telling me this was before the admission. He's saying here. But he's like saying it's basically confirmed that he did talk to a minor here. So wait, is he not just buying into the allegations?
So
and he's calling everyone else fascists?
Which I find bizarre. 3 primary sources on record. One of the most respected reporters in our...
Because he seems to have presupposed that Dr. Disrespect was actually talking to a minor there.
Industry. Oh, like that. Cecilia what? I don't respect anybody that doesn't give a surname.
Like, he's criticizing Slasher's reasoning here, but what's your reasoning for believing it at this point then?
If you refer to yourself as Slasher in an article outside of something in esports, you lose all credibility. You know. To a national publication, Bloomberg is extremely reputable, and unknown, unverified email is not. What are you talking about?
Again, this is what makes talking about this shit so fucking annoying. Because the information's been drip fed. Whenever you look at someone's statements, you have to try and analyze, like, what information did they have at the time and what's their thought process here to know if they were being retarded or not. Because not everyone was on the same page. But I don't understand how he's, like, essentially assuming here that Dr. Disrespect did actually speak to a minor, while also criticizing Slasher and Vito's reasoning for believing that. Because their reasoning that I've seen is totally sound, but he's calling them a fascist for it? We'll see.
Come on,
we'll see.
Also, I can confirm it's not true. First of all, Nick's not saying it's true. He's saying it's a bunch of horse shit. He's saying that Bloomberg's a bunch of horse.
Cecilia D'Anastasio is legit. She did that Riot Games sexism story. Richard Lewis gives her a lot of credit for that, even though she hates him. She's legit and she's not. I believe I do know about that Riot Games sexism story. And that probably was good journalism, because I think a lot came of that, right? Like, Riot Games had to kind of fucking sort their shit out after that. And that was during... Wasn't that pretty close to when Schreier brought out the Activision stuff? I think, right? Anyway, Cecilia also did an article about Keffels, where she played fast and loose, shall we say, and bought into the narrative wholesale without doing the verification that anyone could have done at the time. But there weren't factual inaccuracies. I couldn't see any things that were just straight up wrong. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. It was just like fully... Yeah, IWW brought us up, but it was fully like spanned for that narrative.
Poor shit. Hey, I got news for you, Rod. Nobody believes your side of the culture war anymore. And you know why? And I had some idiot today say there is no culture war, and I had another idiot say that, oh, there is no culture war on the left, it's only on the right. We're too stupid to do it. That was the funniest gaslighting thing I ever said. There's a culture war. And it does fall around a political spectrum. I know that.
100% a culture war.
100%. You're gaslighting, you're lying. No, because you get people like Vito that hate the same people that I hate on the right, okay? Right? But he's just as bad as they are. He is 100% a culture warrior. But the left doesn't want to be labeled as culture warriors. Do you know why? You know what the old word for culture warrior was? Partisan. Nobody wants that label. I got to be honest with you. If you're on the right side or the left side of the culture war, so far
you can be part. No, it's not. You can be partisan and still not participate in culture war stuff. What? Because you can be completely full-throatedly on board with, say, like every Republican policy, but you don't sit there arguing and thinking about whether you should say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. You don't sit there arguing or thinking about whether Democrats are pushing pedophilia. You don't sit there thinking about, you know, whether there's a trans genocide. You don't think about whatever Pride advertising campaign is being ran. Yeah. So you can be partisan without being involved in a culture war. I just don't think he understands what he's talking about in any way. That's the thing. I genuinely think Tommy is just like so dumb. But he wants to both be dumb and be like, oh, I'm just a little old retard, but also make firm statements and heavily impugn other people's character. But it's like, you can try and do that, but you do kind of have to face the criticism and kind of own the fact when you're being retarded if you do that, right? You can't just fall back to, I'm retarded is like a good reason to be like I'll say I'm just a retarded streamer, but that's why I'm saying, like, don't listen to me too much and I'll change my mind if someone presents me information. But Tommy and Connor as well use it as like an excuse to just like keep being wrong or to... Well, Connor does it to downplay his influence. Connor does it to say, like, why should I have to do anything about this? There's nothing I can do. But then also he'll be like, oh, well, we've got a platform. We should do something about this. Or whatever. It's a little bit different when Connor versus Tommy. Jesus Christ. Connor versus Tommy. It's a little bit different between the two. Because Tommy's doing it to... Connor doesn't do it to avoid being wrong. Tommy does. Tommy's being like, oh, I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about politics. I'm just an idiot. Oh, I just commenting on stuff going on online. But then he is making like political statements, impugning people for their politics, talking about people's character and shit on a political basis. It's like, bro, pick a lane. Why don't you just say, I'm just a guy, I'm giving my opinion, feel free to criticize it, I'll change it if I'm wrong. Why do you have to do this whole downplaying shit where you're like, I'm just a retard, I try to stay out of politics. No, you don't, bro. No, you don't.
Culture warrior, but it means you're partisan. But guys like Rod and Vito and all these political types like to think they're above it, or like to pretend they want to project that to you. How dare you talk in Bloomberg in that manner? I got news for you, Rod. The state of journalism...
No one's saying, how dare you talk about Bloomberg in that manner. The point is that if you are at the... It is irrational to distrust or to have a inherent distrust towards these broad systems of incentive structures and regulations, especially when they're proven to produce results. It is stupid and it is irrational to have this inherent distrust, because they will act like you're being asked to trust an individual or asked to trust a company. Like, just listen to Bloomberg, goy. Just listen to the journo, goy. That's not the case at all. It's simply that for this to be a conspiracy, for this to be a fabricated claim, would require a whole bunch of people behaving in incredibly stupid, malicious ways that are incredibly likely to backfire. There isn't a culture war with specific sides. There are disparate random issues and aspirant media hucksters trying to represent a side to an audience. Kind of true. Yep. Yep. Facts. What does Stellar Blade have to do with the left or the right? Yeah, kind of true. Kind of true. I mean, that's just, I mean, listen, this is the one thing, okay? This is the one thing that Brianna Wu was right about. The one thing I will agree with Brianna Wu on is that fundamentally, the Gamergate stuff and Steve Bannon being involved with it through Breitbart, that is the template for politics online, is getting someone invested through some wedge issue that is incredibly close to them personally, but very inconsequential, that you can essentially hype them up emotionally and then get them on board with a whole bunch of other stuff as like a gateway. So you're like, oh, women are ruining games and black people are ruining games. Look at all these women and black people in these terrible games that have come out. And then people are like, oh, wow, yeah, I should be a groiper now. And then what would it be for the other side? What would it be for like the other side? What are sort of the wedge cultural issues that left-wingers get bought into hook, line, and sinker? I can't think. Maybe like, I think a lot of lefties maybe getting a gateway for a lot of people, like student debt. That's one. A lot of people get bought into communist stuff via student debt, I think. Trans stuff, yeah, hugely trans stuff. Trans genocide stuff, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. The thing is, it's a bit different with like guns and healthcare. These are more like hard policy things, right? It has to be more of like a cultural issue that people find relevant to their life, but isn't necessarily a policy thing. Because if you get bought into politics through a policy, that's sort of like just normal. This is like this other strategy of like swiping people up from the internet to support. Well, not just from the internet, but, you know, from culture, from the normies. Yeah, cultural appropriation, that's probably one as well, yep. All the colonialism stuff. That gets people into it, yeah. So there's plenty of examples we can think about. But that is just the strategy now. That is just the strategy. Is you find, someone finds one of these, or one side finds this like disparate issue, and then they try and inject their own view into it, and that's meant to galvanize a group of people who feel that way about it into coming into their political ideology. And that's the play every time. That's why people talk about white nationalism in gamer groups and shit like that so much, is because it is very easy to, if you have a bunch of socially isolated, you know, dissatisfied people, it is very easy to inject a political issue into something they adjacently care about and suddenly make them incredibly radical, right? That's where all that shit comes from. But that happens in both directions, obviously.
Not to mention, nobody respects esports journalists, up into including you because of this situation and the Brittany Ventney situation. Okay? That's a character issue. And your side covered for you. Nobody but a bunch of randos are covering for him for disrespect. He is insulted that Nick doesn't believe anonymous sources. He's mad. What was happening prior to everything that was going on? Oh, my evidence. Listen, he's just a pedo. Admit it. Admit it. What? And without any kind of log, without any kind of statement from Twitch, without any statement from Doc? He's mad. What was happening prior to everything that was going on? Oh, my evidence. Listen, he's just a pedo. Admit it. Admit it. What? And without any kind of log, without any kind of statement from Twitch, without any statement.
What? I'm lost, man. Who was Slasher was not saying he's a pedo, just believe it. Slasher was not saying that. Vito was not saying he's a pedo, just believe it. They were not saying that. The people he's seething about were not saying, we're not professing the positions that he's claiming. He just sees it all. He's actually just, he's brainwashed into this culture war shit. He actually sees them all as the left side of the culture war.
From Doc, I just got to condemn him, or I'm okay with.
He literally is just thinking red team, blue team. Literally, that's all. It's all it is. Oh, everyone on the blue team is saying the same thing. No, they're not, bro.
Talking to minors in an inappropriate manner or a sexual manner? Get the fuck out of here. Take your pedo ejacker and stick it up your ass. In fact, I'll tie it around.
Tommy's right. Any suspect that refuses to testify should never be convicted. So true and real. Okay. I think that's what he's saying.
On your neck and pull. How about that? And look at Rod. He can't believe it. Rod, Nick is the, like, first of all, he's more left-leaning than I am. Nobody believes you guys anymore. Nobody believes Bloomberg, Fox News, MSNBC. Journalists they're used car salesmen in the 80s.
That's just not true. That's just not true. It's just such a... People say nobody believes journalists anymore. First of all, it's projection. They're saying they don't believe journalists anymore. Most people still just read the news or watch the news. Most people still consume it and don't spend their entire fucking time thinking, oh, actually, there's actually this person's paying this person to get this story ran. Oh, APAC. That's not the average normal person. Most people do still trust institutions, I think. There has been a huge rise in distrust of journalism, government institutions, all this sort of stuff. There has been a huge rise in that. But the majority of people, I think, still are on the same page, living in the same reality. Now, the large minority of people who aren't living in the same reality as everyone else, so it's still a problem. Everyone believes the news until they read a story they don't like. Well, yeah, that's also true, for sure, yep. I mean, that seems like it's Tommy's case, to be honest. Because there's no way he just goes around being like, oh, well, it's a journalist there, I don't trust him. I guarantee you, if he sees something, if he reads an article, and he's primed to believe it already, and he sees 2 anonymous sources with first-hand knowledge, verified by Bloomberg, said, I guarantee he reads that, and he never criticizes it. If the conclusion is something that he already agrees with, he will skim right through that line and won't care. But this idea that, oh, I don't trust journalists because they've gotten stuff wrong. First of all, I would like to press these people on what they think journalists have gotten wrong and when, and what they know the outcomes of those things were. Like, what actually happened off the back of it. Well, that's all, really, isn't it? I just want to press him on that, because he fucking wouldn't answer any questions yesterday. But what reason does he even have to distrust this entire system, this entire, like, societal apparatus of journalism, like, society, you know, the SPJ for fucking, like, and the ethics code that journalists generally adhere to, the incentive structures, the regulations, the threat of defamation. What reason does he have to doubt the robustness of this whole interconnected web of checks and balances? How? What reason?
And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being hyperbolic. He is literally saying to Nick, how dare you not believe my people? My people are superior. And then I started to think, well, Doctor, they were kind of doing this before the whole thing came out, which does look coordinated.
Okay, Quack, you misportrayed that. You made it sound like Smaggle was talking mad shit. Now, Smaggle asking Spicy how he lost to Tommy C in a debate. He said, how the fuck did Kuihman lose to Tommy C in the debate, brackets, from Chud's chat perspective? He's asking, how did they think that? He's asking, how did they think that? And it's because I've made myself a pariah to Chud's chat, okay? Happily. Happily. It's very funny. To be fair, it's not new. Chud's chat pretty much always hated me, I think. I think Chud's chat has always hated me. Living on Lolly and Truck Hill put him at a disadvantage. I don't think it's even... I think it's literally been the case the entire time. When have I been... Chud primes and haters a hill? I mean, my entire start on Chud's stream was coming in to argue with Chud, right? I've always been a heel on Chud's stream. That is the role. I think it recently got more. I think it's because I've been on more. There was a long time where I wasn't on very much. But I remember when I used to go on, when I first started going on, it was what? That would have been when Rhizome was still around, before the spicy chat creation, and then Schism. And everyone fucking hated me then, because they were like, this guy's a transphobe and whatever. And then his audience became DGGers, well, a lot of DGGers. And they hated me, because I started saying shit that was against Destiny. And now his audience is right-wingers. Well, not all right-wingers, but there's certainly a lot of right-wingers. And they hate me, because I defend Lolly. I don't even defend Lolly, I say it's like, yeah, it's a fucking cartoon, but whatever. I defend Lolly in their eyes. To them, I might as well be saying... I might as well be reciting the entire lyrics to Mr. Girl's I'm a pedophile to them. And what else? And because I'm a kind of a... Because I give... What should we say? Critical feedback to people that in a aggressive manner. And they often like those people. How much to free rap that next? Fuck, man. A full I'm a pedophile recital? That's got to be at least $1,000. That's at least $1,000. No, Chud's audience isn't just libs saying unhinged right-wing sounding shit for fun. I don't think so. No. Because you hear it when he starts... Because he starts getting a little bit of kickback when he starts talking about politics. When he's like... If he's coming down on like the lefty side of something... You start seeing some of them start getting a bit uncomfortable. Well, obviously, because he doesn't talk about politics or anything as much anymore, it's not as relevant, so... I found you through Chud and Joy, but... Well, I mean, yeah, most people probably... I mean, I doubt there's... many people in here who aren't like that, to be honest. Did you see his chat today when he talked about the debate? Nope. Wait, I was listening. I was listening to him talk about it on. So I heard him arguing a bit. But I didn't see the chat. People think he's right wing. Yeah, I know. Yeah. The name's probably confusing. It used to be clear it was ironic, but now it seems unironic. A little bit, because he's not as obviously left wing. So now I think people take it and assume that he's like super right wing, and he's not even right wing. Yeah, he was. I heard him getting called soy. Yeah. When did the shift even happen for Chud's audience? When he started saying the R word or what? The shift to having right wing people around? When would that have really been? Like, significantly? Obviously, there are always a few, but like, having like it be broadly in the chat, I can't even think when that sort of happened. I think it's just accumulated over the rape reviews. I think that's it. I think, you know, it just accumulates. So it's probably post, I would say it's post-Destiny. Post-Destiny and Mr. Girl. Once, I would say that's where it started shifting. Probably. Because that was like when Chud was totally cut off from doing politics content. And when he stopped vocally agreeing with Mr. Girl so much.
I don't know if that could ever be proven. Like, why would you even get offended?
Well, me and Sunday are doing a challenge when I finish the game. When I finish Sonic Adventure 2, we will do a challenge. And it will be epic, but not until then.
What he said. Something else Nick said to me because, you know, I got people on both sides of the culture will follow me, right? The righties never say anything. They just kind of cringe and get mad at you and don't invite you on your show. The lefties are always Karens. They're the ones that are always challenging you. They're always getting in there. So Nick wrote back. And Rod...
What? They're Karens for challenging you.
Invite you on your show. The
What?
lefties are always Karens. They're the ones that are always challenging you. They're always getting in there. So Nick wrote back. And Rod didn't want none. How about?
They're always Karens. They're always they're challenging you on what you're saying, and that makes them a Karen. He literally just seems like someone who doesn't want to ever be asked to justify anything he thinks ever. He just wants to have a complete thoughtless beliefs. I say thought like, you know, no line of thinking behind them, just simply emotionally driven positions that he takes on shit. That seems to be it. Because his whole thing's like, you're a fascist for criticizing me and saying that my conclusion's unreasonable. And you're a Karen if you come and confront me under my tweet. You're a Karen if you talk shit on me on Twitter.
How about that? How about if Rod actually went to somebody other than what Hassan, he'd get absolutely annihilated. And you know what, Rod, you would look as stupid as you used to on DJ Wheat show. Did you know Rod was Baba Booey? Did you know that?
Yeah, he was like the dumb one, right?
He was the dumb one. Now I thought he was leaning in the act. He has proved without a doubt all those goofs that we did on him. I guess that show was a lot less Andy Kaufman than I ever thought. Rod's a dope. He is a stone moron. And if he had been on the other side of the culture war that he's on, he would have actually got fucking laid out for telling Jessix that he could get her a job. But that tribe looks out for each other, no matter what they do, including the kind of stuff that Dr. Disrespect was. Nick.
So, okay, well, what's this? So what, is this just some other allegation about fucking Sasha that Tommy's bringing up here? What's this? This is a dog shit source. It's the only thing I can find about it. Hopefully, this looks like AI written, but maybe it'll give us the info we want. Esports presenter Rod Brassel caught blaming Jessix and Brittany Venti of manufacturing lies about harassing Brittany Venti for a date in leaked DM. Old Twitter drama resurfaced of Keemstar injected himself into Twitch drama between OTK House and another Twitch streamer. It started off as a bit of banter turned serious when Rod Brassel and Sam Piker made false pedo allegations against Keemstar as a joke. In 2019, esports journalist Rod Brassel was accused of using his position. This is fucking terribly written. It's like a foreign source, isn't it? In the esports community, to a small Twitch streamer called Jessix to set him up on a date with her friend Brittany Venti. When you're a reporter and you're making moves on a girl and get rejected, you don't go on to write negative stories about them because you got rejected. That's sexual harassment 101, Keemstar tweeted. Although it's been over a year since it happened, Keemstar felt necessary to bring it up once again to prove that Rod Brassel was a hypocrite for calling him a trash human being. Shortly after Kim's tweet started trending, Brassel reached out to follow you to a tipster because he actually tells it, yeah, okay. But so he decided to leak the DMs for himself and Rod Brassel, exposing the esports reporter using Jessix of. Okay. So you don't think using your industry contacts in this way is unethical? Maybe it's sexual harassment. It's not sexual harassment, but it's definitely unethical. No, it definitely blurs the line. I would say it was quite poor form for me to do so. Whether the following lies and manufactured outrage tweets or videos were not based on journalistic integrity or a feeling of actually being harassed, it was personal beef completely unrelated to all of it, where they worked together specifically to defame me on purpose and retaliation. IMO, that is way worse. Well, what we'd have to see the DMs of what actually happened here. Don't you understand that using your position of influence might make her fear coming forward sooner? Where she made like 2 videos about me, calling me an orbiter, not harassment. And the whole reason this happened in the first place was because she went live on the day of Etika's death. I tweeted that WTF is wrong with you, and she got mad. The harassment only came a year later. The same screenshots posted by Keemstar directly because of the Leafy Keem H3 iDubbbz. Oh, more bullshit. It's that original stuff. Brazil didn't sexually harass Venti in DMs. It's pretty evident that Brazil did not sexually harass Venti in direct messages, although it may seem inappropriate for a 33-year-old man to ask a 19-year-old girl out on a date. It is completely legal, and some even commend him for taking a shot. Okay. The case of sexual harassment comes after the fact where Brizlau allegedly smeared the streamer for the content he previously admitted to having enjoyed. And that's what Keemstar was referring to when he accused Brizlau of sexual harassment. Okay, that's... Okay, man. That's not really sexual harassment, but sure. Despite Rod Brizlau saying his offer to Jessix had nothing to do with him getting a date with Venti, the original DMs show that he only offered her anything Overwatch related or a job at Rec with Mayhem as a favor to pay her back. Well, okay, well, it doesn't show the DMs here. I'd have to see that. Wow,
About 2 weeks ago, YouTube streamer...
Wow, look at this. We got a Bobby video.
About 2 weeks ago, YouTube...
Let's go. Let's see the messages. Hi, Brittany. I did your tweet into my video. Oh, I don't watch. Did you get my request, though? Through Jess? Yep. So, do you want to go out? I'm not really up for dating. I've watched and seen your stances. It's a serious inquiry for a date, not just a hookup. As someone who is diametrically opposed to many of your beliefs, agree on others, I figured it would be quite fun. Not available for dating, sorry. Okay. The fuck is wrong with you? Me saying some pretty hilariously cringy milady meme shit doesn't make you any less of an asshole for not backing down to take 5 seconds to think about what you did. What happened here? What was the story there?
My request through Jess. Brittany replies by saying, yep, to which Slasher responds, so do you want to go out? To which Brittany responds, I'm not really up for dating. Slasher disregards the rejection and continues by saying, I've watched you and seen your stances. This is a serious inquiry for a date, not just a hookup. As someone who is diametrically opposed to many of your beliefs, but agree on others, I figured it would be quite fun. Brittany responds by saying, I'm not available for dating, sorry. To which Slasher responds, K, and then a month later says, what the fuck is wrong with you? Me saying some pretty
yeah, there seems like there's something that's happened here. It's a month later.
Hilariously cringy middle stuff. Allegedly creepy.
Is that because she leaked it? Is that because she started leaking shit and going off on him? I mean, that's not sexual harassment. It is pesty. It is pushy. That's not sexual harassment, though, at all. It's like, that's like, what, if we're going to put that on a scale of pushy behavior, what's that, that's like a 2 or a 3 out of 10? When you were asking a girl on a date, she said, I'm not available for dating. And you were like, oh, come on. You sure? Come on, I'm being serious. And then she says no again. But this is like a 3 out of 10 in terms of pushy male behavior. It's okay. I'm used to people only talking to me to get Brit. Get to Brit, I'll ask. Welcome to asking for any favors. Hit me, Jess. Anything Overwatch rated, I got you. You want a job with Rec Mayhem, I got you. Let me pay you back. Oh my god, okay. I mean, like, yeah, it's kind of creepy, but this isn't like using your influence. This isn't like Harvey Weinsteining someone. This isn't Harvey Weinsteining someone, is it? Because you're not even using your position to directly affect the consent of the person you're trying to get with. You're asking someone else, please just let me get in contact with this person, they'll help you with anything. It's being a loser and using your connections to desperately pursue dating. He's not even CKing. Yeah, this is like nothing. It's because it's a third party. You've used some influence to try and hook you up. That's all Basics Britney's claim ever was to. I imagine she probably overacted it. Over-egged it a little bit. I know Brittany Venti. She probably over-egged it a bit. Let's be honest. I don't necessarily believe that. I would have to say, based on my knowledge of Brittany Venti, I would assume that's not quite accurate. I only watched Britney's part of it, and that is what I came away from it with it. And retained that years later. But it sounds like this has popped up several times. Yeah, it sounds like Keemstar and shit started saying sexual harassment. I don't know if she said sexual harassment. Yeah. And then look, this is just, okay, you want to talk about culture war shit? Wait. Sorry, this is unironically the culture war shit. Is it not? This is a culture war. Keemstar's here literally saying, right now Thorin is the only esports reporter I trust. All the others have been corrupted by big tech and big gaming studios / orgs. I mean, we literally have esports reporters giving away org jobs for romantic dates. Pathetic. Saying Thorin's the only one you trust. Isn't Thorin like a total fucking... Like, this guy's... said some insane shit, no? Yeah. Thorin's the one that's always railing against women, basically. Who is talking shit on all the all-female teams. Oh, man. So, like, they're literally going at this guy, calling him a sexual harasser for something that is not sexual harassment by any definition, because of his political position. And it's all a bunch of people with the same political position doing it. And Tommy's like, oh, that was the good culture war one. Dude, you're just bought into this. You're totally bought into this.
Burks threw on the bus. And I saw some of the replies in there by the other side of the culture war. That wasn't enough. You would have thought that they caught Ben Shapiro or a priest.
Oh my God.
Let's hear all those goofs that we did on him. I guess that show was a lot more less Andy Kaufman than I ever thought. Rod's a dope. He is a stone moron. And if he had been on the other side of the culture war that he's on, he would have actually got fucking laid out for telling Jessix that he could get her a job. But that tribe looks out for each other. No matter what they
it said female in the article first. However, I would imagine that since Valorant came out, it's probably hard to get a team of 5 women to play Counter-Strike. So I've got no idea.
Was Nick Burks threw on the bus. And I saw some of the replies in there by the other side of the culture war. That wasn't enough. You would have thought that they caught Ben Shapiro or a priest or somebody that has a real impact on the way the culture war works. Dr. DisRespect isn't one of them. Right-wing politics in general. They didn't get any of them. They got nothing. I mean, I think I said something like that in Chud Logic, like, because at one time I thought it was I didn't think anybody was gonna say shit, right? Or somebody that has a real impact in there by the other side of the culture war. That wasn't enough. You would have thought that they caught Ben Shapiro or a priest or somebody that has a real impact on the way the culture war works. Dr. Disrespect isn't one of them. Right-wing politics in general, they didn't get any of them. They got nothing. I mean, I think I said something like that in Chud Logic, like, because at one time I thought it was gonna. I didn't think anybody was gonna say shit, right? But I was wrong about that. And but like, I did propose to Chud. I'm like, if it comes out, what is this, 1, 2, 3 days? I'm not doing a stream on this tomorrow unless something breaks.
Yeah, what is he even on about? Like, no one's acting like the leader of modern conservatism has fallen in Dr. Disrespect. That's not. I've seen nobody acting like that. Some Twitter users are certainly blowing it up and acting like he was this huge right-wing guy, and that because Nick Merck seems like kind of a corny fucking loser for his response, that he's somehow that they've somehow exposed some crazy hypocrisy. I've seen that here and there, but no one's really acting like this is like the end of conservatism, because one streamer who kind of hangs around with some guys who say right-wing stuff sometimes, who's kind of signaled to maybe like a couple of conspiracy theories at one point, like the Shungite and David Icke stuff. Like, so how somehow that's the leader of conservatism falling. Okay, man.
Has it not been exhausted? Am I wrong, Matt?
No, it's been pretty exhausting.
He admitted it. He's a creeper. It's done.
Done.
What mileage did you think you people would get out of it? The only thing you did is make yourself look like a bunch of fascists.
I mean, we just... What? What do you mean? What does that mean?
Demanding people go along, like demanding that I accept the allegation as the evidence.
No one was doing that. No one was doing that.
Demanding.
Who was doing that? Sorry, I won't say no one. Obviously, I won't say no one. Casey Tron was probably doing that. There were probably some people on Twitter doing that. There are obviously Twitter users doing that. No one of note. No one important. No one engaging remotely honestly was demanding you go along with allegations.
Now, I made an optics tweet on what I thought would happen. And I said, it does. We don't, first of all, and I'm sure he's trying to undermine it's the wrong word, minimize it by saying inappropriate. Inappropriate can mean a lot of things. Inappropriate.
He did the exact opposite. Yeah, he maximized it by minimizing.
He tried to minimize it. Right?
Wait, so this is after the statement? This sounds like this is after the statement. No? He told me this was before the fucking statement came out. Matt Pitt should get in VC instead of subtweeting you. If Matt Pitt's subtweeting me, I would absolutely rather he just simply get in a VC and explain his perspective. Like a how would you say, like a internet commentator probably would do. Yeah, it seems crazy to me. There's a whole bunch of internet commentators who are fucking terrified of giving commentary. Tommy C, probably the best example here. He's just memeing. Well, I don't know. I haven't even seen the tweet that's being referred to. So I'm just taking Queller on if Matt Pitt is subtweeting me. But I am noticing a trend of internet commentators who seem terrified of giving commentary, who seem terrified of having it questioned. They just want to sit there and go, oh, this looks really bad. And that's that's every video they fucking do. It's just some middle-aged fucking senile retard going, oh, this looks really bad. Oh, that's not good optics. Fuck off, you waste of space. Stop making content. It's mind-numbing. Every week, new drama. 500 channels of people going, oh, the optics of that aren't good. Oh, never give a real fucking position. Never back it up. Never reason through it. And there's a whole fucking industry built on it. Mind-blowing.
Right?
He probably made it way worse than it actually is.
He probably did. So, yeah, obviously there was he was making moves himself. So he tries to minimize it by using the word inappropriate. Now, inappropriate can mean a lot of things. right? Inappropriate can mean it's not really appropriate to tell dick and fart jokes to high schoolers, all right? I think if that was what happened,
okay, buddy,
his audience would forget.
Yeah.
Right? I think if he made sexual innuendo, that wasn't leading to like come back to my hotel, that like it would have been fine.
Yes, they do. Kilo, that's what it is. It is cowardice. Mr. Go has made tweets about this. I've said this many times on stream. I'm confident that it's true because Mac Carson agrees with me, and it's a thought that I independently divined. Okay? This is the absolute pussy way of doing commentary content, any drama content. Absolute most bitch way, and everyone retreats to it. The moment it's pedo allegations, the moment it's about pedophilia, everyone retreats to this because they are fucking pussies. They will drop back to, oh, the optics of that aren't good. Oh, it might be a bit optically better if it's like this. Oh, it's optic. They will never make a fucking value judgment because they are fucking cowards and they don't want to be spun as pedophiles. They're terrified that they'll have a Vosh clip or a Destiny clip where at some point, maybe they will be forced to reason through something they've said and defend it. So they instead want to sit on this, oh, the optics. Oh, I don't know how this is going to go. Oh, no one cares how you think it's going to go. We can all see how the fucking internet is reacting. We can all log onto Twitter and get a vibe check. Tell me what you fucking think of it. Tell me your value judgment on it.
His audience, he would have lost he would have lost all these sponsorships. He would have been capped, and they'd go watch him. Right? Yeah. If there's flirting or any kind of like obviously sexting in there, that's it. So do you know
if there's any understanding of the age?
Yeah.
Like if the conversation continues when he knows the age, it's over.
But that even offended people. That particular tweet. It's all. Let me show you the tweet because the guy that called me out for that tweet is a guy who said balls to bones. After I said to him, like, look, I want to like you, but you're saying the girls and cuties
do you have
look
a
attractive?
clip of that?
Yeah, that just blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, and we probably should find that clip. I'm actually going to clip that and put it.
You know, that's one fucking shark I didn't think to see come float.
Yeah, how many times has Mr. Girl said he found the girls and cuties attractive? Many times. How many victims does Mr. Girl have? Zero children affected by Mr. Girl. A long trail of women who suffered through intense relationships, but zero children this entire time. Zero children. Meanwhile, Dr. DisRespect, who fucking hates pedophiles, family man, father, husband, fucking hates pedophiles, hangs out with Nick Merckx, who fucking hates pedophiles, and the sickening trans groomers. Total normal guys. Actually, oh, Dr. DisRespect does have a child victim. It's almost like someone making edgy statements about psychology and the nature of attraction doesn't necessarily predict that they're going to do harm to a child. It's almost like that's the case. It's almost like you shouldn't sweat that so much, isn't it? It's maybe like you should engage a bit more critically and think, wow, if this guy was like the type of person to abuse a child, why would he do everything possible to limit his possible interactions with children, having an 18+ Discord, saying he refuses to interact with anyone below 18, saying that he doesn't DM fans, saying that you have to try and contact them publicly, not being on the major platforms, he doesn't even monetize his streams, he makes content purely for adults, it's often quite dry. This guy who makes no attempt to be around children makes a couple of comments about fleeting attraction to children. Maybe that's not the guy you should worry about. Maybe instead you should start worrying about the people who have access to children, who have the ability to abuse. Maybe that would be the better play. Maybe that was like part of the point, like the whole time. Maybe he's like said that many times. Now, have you ever considered the optics of it? Yeah, but it's very bad optically to say you found the girls and cuties attractive, so we should just condemn Mr. Girl completely. I agree. We should condemn Mr. Girl completely, and we should assume that all eunuch Minecraft YouTubers and Call of Duty quote-unquote regular guys actually are totally incapable of ever molesting a child. We should assume that. I think that's a good plan. I think that will stop kids getting raped, for sure.
Swimming into your ocean like Jesus.
Is that really Clown? Thank you, Clown. I almost hit 50. I don't think I'm there yet. Yeah. So the guy who said on my show, I said, you know, I want to like you and everything, and because I honestly thought there was like some sort of nuance to what his argument with cuties, right? But I wasn't jumping on the bread tube train. Remember when he was a darling of the day? Or the month?
Yeah. Everybody wanted
bread
to talk
tube
to him because
train.
he was
Well, we
weird.
never said he called in.
Again, what does he think? Does he actually think bread tube is any politics? Does he recognize that bread tube comes from the term the bread, as in like your bread lines, like they're communists, like specifically leftist political content online? Like that's the point of the term bread tube. Does he not get this? He's just using it for any vaguely political content, I think.
Didn't fucking. We didn't answer him. He called him in. I said, but did you really say that the kids in cuties were
From the
attractive?
Conquest of
Isn't that
Bread.
going
Thank you for the
a little too far?
correction.
Isn't that language you don't want to use? Well, I said it because they are. That's what he said. This is a guy that called me out.
I gotta be. I'm so confused because two guys I would expect to defend Dr. Disrespect right now would be Vito and Mr. Girl.
Yeah.
And it's like
So fucking retarded. What a fucking stupid thing to say. What a fucking stupid thing to say. When have Mr. Girl or Vito ever defended anyone having inappropriate contact with minors? When has that ever happened? Name one. They don't defend it. They certainly don't defend contact. They will talk about how there are certain ranges that it's normal to have certain levels of attraction to, that you can be within. Maybe sometimes you have a fleeting moment of attraction to someone that you shouldn't have a fleeting moment of attraction to, and that doesn't necessarily mean your entire psychology is fucked and shit like that. But that's about thoughts. That's about psychology. That's not about actions. Both of them have incredibly firm stances from everything I've seen on any actions. But for some reason, I guess Tommy believes in like thought crime or something, or Matt Smith, Jesus Christ, Matt Pitt. Fuck me, believes in thought crimes or something. Thinks they're just as bad. I don't know. Because there's no fucking way you could read Mr. Girl and Vito as having that take.
I don't.
Doesn't that tell you something? Because that's who got me suspicious in the first place. It's starting.
I think
to
I can
get
tell you.
weird.
I think I can tell you why Vito is so adamant against Dr. Disrespect. It has to do with Yellow Flash and all those guys that he
Calling him a
hates.
pedo?
That like, yeah, calling him a pedo.
So his solution was to do the same thing.
Yeah, I
So he
guarantee
discredits
you if he.
himself. So he
I guarantee
discredits
you.
himself.
Yeah. I guarantee you if he liked Dr. Disrespect, he would be defending him right now.
Yeah.
For like 100%.
Oh, God.
He'd be like
Oh,
17.
No, dude.
17's closer to 18. What are you talking? Like, it's not that big of a deal. That's
We
what
had a
he'd be
guy.
doing right now.
We had a guy. Rod go to Jessix, fucking tell her that he'd get her a job, even though he didn't have the power to do it. Right.
Yeah.
With an Overwatch team, because they both all had a mutual hate of Keemstar. The team calls her.
Okay. He's saying that like he was actually offering a job, like he could actually hire her on the spot. When he said, I'll do anything you want, I'll get you anything you want, all this shit, he's clearly saying, I'll hook you up with the people to get you in that position. You hook me up with the person I want to be hooked up with, and I'll hook you up with the people you want to be hooked up with in future. That's what he's saying. So he's not saying, oh, I can hire you for this job right now if you do this for me. This guy's so dumb.
And tells her, look,
They're perfectly happy to like overplay and misportray this slasher incident. Like totally, I've not heard him mention the fact that this has been called sexual harassment a bunch of times too. But the moment it comes to Dr. Disrespect, it's like, oh, if I haven't seen the exact logs, I can't even tell you that it happened. Okay.
Wasn't telling the truth. He couldn't get your job. The rest of the conversation is don't trust Keemstar. In other words, don't talk to Keemstar, right? And then they run a block for him by putting Jake Lucky on and saying this is a ridiculous allegation that Rod tried to strong-arm Jessix because he didn't have the power to begin with. Like, that mattered.
Yeah. But he tried to strong-arm her?
Lucky on and saying this is right. And then they run a block for him by putting Jake Lucky on and saying this is a ridiculous allegation that Rod tried to strong-arm Jessix because he didn't have the power to begin with. Like, that mattered.
It is a ridiculous allegation that he tried to strong-arm her. We just looked at the DMs. We just looked at the DMs. That is a ridiculous allegation to say that. He did not try to strong-arm her. That is ridiculous. What is this guy on about? She says here, this is the strong-arming, by the way. He asks her to get him in contact with Brittany Venti. She says, it's okay. I'm used to people only talking to me to get to Brit. I'll ask. And he says, Lamau, you're welcome. Ask me for any favors. Hit me, Jess. Anything Overwatch related, I got you. Want to make rec with Mayhem? Job rec with Mayhem? Wait, job recommendation. He's not saying they'll give you a job. He's saying job recommendation. Fucking idiot. Dude, Tommy C's actually just like fucking lying about Slasher here. Sorry, not lying. He's probably getting the details wrong because his brain's filled with fluid and no firing brain cells. But this is just spreading false allegations. He did not try and strong-arm her here. She agreed, and then he offered favors. Like, when's this? 4/6/19?
To use his status in East, laughing my ass off. Upside down starts out that he didn't care how it's okay. Approximately 2 weeks before the DMs.
Brittany single. I have a hate crush on her. You got to hook us up. What's it? Bible reading stream is amazing. Interesting, because controversial. Oh, points. I mean, you're going to help out. I mean, yeah, this isn't strong arming. What? This is not strong arming. Dude, this guy's just fucking lying about Slash. He's just, sorry, not lying. Misrepresenting due to his poor memory and cognitive capacity. This is not what, that's not what happened. What he's saying happened did not happen.
Yeah.
Like, he was trying to get in Brittany Benny's fans through her. And he was doing the, you know, what do you call it? The, you know, it wasn't like exactly a casting couch, but it was
it's nothing like that.
Oh, what do they call it? It was Q Trump of it last year. Tit for tat.
Quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo.
It's not even. It's like he asked for it, she agreed, and then he said, "Okay, if you want me to hook you up with anyone in the future, I'll do that as a favor." Bro. Oh. But he's crying about the Bloomberg article. People went too far because of a Bloomberg article on Dr. DisRespect when you can't even accurately portray a set of DMs that leaked. Like, this is why we don't need the fucking DMs to leak. Imagine Tommy fucking trying to interpret DMs with a minor. Holy shit.
Oh, it was definitely quid pro quo.
This guy's so dumb, man. Oh, bro.
Quid pro quo.
I had so much... I was so much better off having never seen any of Tommy's coverage or anything. I should have never started watching this. I didn't realize he was this dumb.
Everybody on that side of the culture war stuck up for Rod.
I didn't want to hate this guy. I don't hate this guy. It's
Look
fine.
at the difference with Dr. DisRespect. Goodbye. Now, the level of crime is a lot different. We had an Overwatch team, the esports media, the whole nine.
Yeah, Tommy kind of seems like a fascist right now. Can't lie.
Went to bat. So I make that tweet. I said, let me read the tweet just to make sure if you guys don't have a problem. Look, Dr. Spick, he was way out of line here. It was my kid. I'd be livid. Unless there's very graphic tests or the minor. It was very young. I think the internet would forgive him. That's my optical observation. Yes, and I still believe that. I think if she was 17 in fucking an hour or 18 in an hour, I don't think anybody would give too much of a fuck. Right.
She would be 18
hours from 2017.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think anybody would give too much of a fuck. I think some people would give a fuck because they just don't like people that, like, there are those people that they don't.
Slasher and Venti stuff was funny. It was meant to be funny. People ruined it with sexual assault shit. Yeah, that's the thing with leaking DMs like that. Any sort of sexual dating DMs is that people always fucking take it too far. I mean, a bunch of retards doing that with the Tom stuff recently as well, to be fair.
I want people with their 30. I mean, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want some 30-year-old guy, like, mess with my 18-year-old. You know, I wouldn't care if a 30-year-old guy messed with my 20 or 21-year-old, but 18, just out of the house, You know. Unless very graphic tests, the minor's very young, I would think the internet would forgive him. But it should be otherwise. But it should be over otherwise. I think it's a fair tweet. I'm a fucking critic.
Here comes Mr. Girl, strawman.
Strawman me tries to peel.
Nope, the 17 age thing purely originates from that fan email. Yep.
No jacket me.
Yeah. The pedo tries to pedo jacket
like, this
you.
guy told me he's attracted to the girls in cuties who are prepubescent girls. That's what he said, balls to bones to me. And this is the guy that's calling me out. So he was attracted to minors, admitted it on this show.
No, the age is not confirmed. No one has said anything about the age yet.
The actresses were all minors. They were prepubescent minors, and he's going to lecture me.
Also, yeah, Queen Bee, this is like if he was like 23 or like 22, like early 20s, and she was like 17 and however old. No, yeah, okay, no one would really care. But Doc was like already like 32, 35, something like that by the time when this shit happened, right? Bro was getting on. You shouldn't be fucking with 17-year-olds in your 30s when you've got kids and a wife. That's super fucking gross. That's incredibly fucking gross. Early 20s, like 20 to 23, like, yeah, okay, if someone fucks 17-year-olds, like, whatever. But in your 30s, come on, bro.
So some semi-graphic texting with a minor is okay, as long as it doesn't cross the threshold into very. Well, you know, thanks for splitting hairs was the verb.
Sorry, he didn't fuck her. We should be clear. He didn't fuck her. He didn't fuck her. It was inappropriate messages, okay? Should be clear.
With my words. Something tells me if I just got rid of very, I'd still be getting the same fucking amount of shit. Get the fuck out of here.
What crawled up his ass? Like, where did he
I think he's probably trying to position himself to the other side of the culture war.
So this is the funniest part. Oh man, this was so funny. Mr. Girl, Wiggers, who up? Horses?
And this is the guy that's calling me out. So he was attracted to minors, admitted it on this show. The actresses were all minors. They were prepubescent minors, and he's going to lecture me. So some semi-graphic texting with a minor is okay, as long as it doesn't cross the threshold into very. Well, you know, thanks for splitting hairs with the verb with my words. Something tells me if I just got rid of very, I'd still be getting the same fucking amount of shit. Get the fuck out of here.
What crawled up his ass? Like, where did he
I think he's probably trying to position himself to the other side of the culture war. This is his way up. He's just a YouTuber.
So this is Tommy's theory about why Mr. Girl is coming after him. He thinks that Mr. Girl is trying to position himself to get lefty clout. He thinks Mr. Girl is trying to climb the social ranks of internet lefty discourse and position himself for lefty clout. That's Mr. Girl, who doesn't believe in trans people, doesn't believe in communism, as far as I'm aware. Banned from YouTube. Turned off his monetization on Kick. Or didn't he turn off all of his monetization? I can't remember what his deal is there. Pro Second Amendment. Pro freedom of speech. Says the hard R N-word in his songs. Yep, that's the guy. That's the lefty clout sucker. He's desperate, but this is just delusion. He's totally, his identity, the actions he's already taken preclude him from ever being in that position to climb that social ladder. And he knows that. And he has no interest. He's never shown any interest in wanting to.
Oh, he
I've
said
watched
those
him on
fucking things about cuties to get clout. He finds oddball ways to do it. Do you remember?
Yeah, he went after Vosh.
I literally watched him on No Jumper, like, interrogate this black dude and be like, so you're telling me that if you were the last man on earth and the only girl was a 16-year-old,
What do you mean interrogate this? Well, Matt Pitt's recollection is fucking retarded here. Flacco was desperate to ambush Mr. Girl in that show.
literally do it like
and
he's
this
doing
guy's
the whole
lecturing
thing.
me.
Yeah.
This guy's lecturing me. And look, I remember, I don't forget about this guy backstabbed Destiny. You know, I almost think it was funny because I don't know why Destiny would hang out with a guy like this. You know, put him on the show, talk to him. That's one thing, but like be friends. And of course, somebody like this tried to say that Destiny was abused. That's his whole thing. And I wrote back. I said, "You're putting words in my mouth and trying to split hairs with them." You know, I mean, so of course, if there's any graphic text, it's over. I probably put very in there out of habit, but that's splitting hairs. I'm talking about the optical. The internet may forgive him. That doesn't mean I will or plan, because I had to say that because he's attacking my character, or they should. And it's just unbelievable.
What's unbelievable? You made a poorly worded tweet that seemed like you were kind of defending him. I see why Mr. Godflow for
the guy came on my show and said they found cuties attractive. Spare the phony outrage.
Sell a hat. I do want a hat. Honestly, I tried to get hats set up in the store at first, but the way the like template shit works, I think it wasn't loading or something. I couldn't get like the template set up for the Shopify thing. But I'll look at it again at some point.
Yeah, spare me. Sparing the phony outrage. You are much closer to a pedophile than I ever could be. And I made no defense of Dr. Disrespect. I said, people follow me to find out what I think is going to happen. I put it out there. That's it. Now we got to listen. Yeah.
It's basically, I think the Bears are going to win by 4 touchdowns.
That's basically it.
You know, that's all it is.
They lost. They lost. You know, they lost. But, you know, I guess I was probably on the list. I was probably on the fucking list. And, it does go, I'll be able to do Xander all tweets first. I think I might even have an agreement with him on this one. This guy's claiming, this is Xander Hall, we shouldn't take the Dr. Disrespect allegation seriously because the evidence is sparse. Mr. Beast, totally normal trans buddy Chris, is now putting his son in high heels so he can so he can too play out his fetish. Xander Hall's exactly right there, 100%. Because, and this is Vito, Rod, you are the antithesis of the cornering. I know you don't want to hear that, but it's 100% true. He is the culture warrior, only probably a little more honest because I bet he'd be willing to admit it. Guys on your side of the culture, your culture warriors have all the gear, all the tactical gear, but they pretend, I'm not a culture warrior. That's the difference. One guy pretends they aren't and they do it, and one side pretends they are and they're doing it. You're both partisans. And he's right here. Cornering's an idiot. Do you see what else he did? Firm handshake to Dr. Disrespect? What the fuck was that?
I didn't read this. I'm just replying.
The reason I'm showing you this is the madness is absolutely on both sides. But I find it much more infuriating that when people ask for evidence, like, let's see, Nick Mark, he puts this thing, since Nick Burks has me blocked, here's a video he posted in regards to disrespect. He defends him, which he doesn't, and demands for more evidence. I'm sorry, I don't trust Twitch. If Twitch is banning one of the most popular streaming on the plaza out of nowhere, it isn't a good enough evidence for you. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, I don't trust Twitch. If Twitch is banning one of the most popular streaming on the plaza out of nowhere, it isn't a good enough evidence.
This is a bad argument from Caseytron, obviously.
Are you kidding me? They fucking banned the guy that they banned once before, brought him back, and told him that he could do some fucking gambling thing, and then got rid of him a week later, and they took him to court and they won. Twitch is...
Wait, he didn't win. There was no... It was a settlement. That doesn't mean you won. Wait, he didn't go to court. They didn't go to court. He didn't win. They had arbitration. Private arbitration. That's not going to court. He was banned before for going into a bathroom while filming. Like, what is even the argument here?
Like, let's see, Nick Mark, he puts this thing. Since Nick Burks has me blocked, here's a video he posted in regards to disrespect. He defends him, which he doesn't, and demands for more evidence. I'm sorry, I don't trust Twitch. If Twitch is banning one of the most popular streaming on the plaza out of nowhere, it isn't a good enough evidence for you. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They fucking banned the guy that they banned once before, brought him back, and told him that he could do some fucking gambling thing, and then got rid of him a week later, and they took him to court and they won. Twitch is not a...
Okay, Jimberly, you can say getting a bunch of money arbitration is kind of a win, yeah, but it's not winning in court. It's not winning. It's a settlement. It's when both parties agree on something. Now, you could say that as Twitch paid out, it indicates that they thought they did something wrong. You could say it indicates in that way. But a settlement's a compromise. It's a compromise so it doesn't have to go to court. So nobody has to win or lose. So it doesn't get to that point. It's just what do we need? What do both parties need here for us to just drop this and fuck off? That's what it is. It didn't go to court. That's certainly not true.
Twitch is an authority on doing the right thing. And there was also the question.
It's not about being an authority on doing the right thing. It's a fact they banned this guy and lost out. They still end up having to pay out his full contract, but they lost out on any of the money he would have made them as a streamer. So for them to be doing that, it would indicate there has to be something pretty serious, something pretty negative for their bottom line in some other way that has happened to cause it, right? Or the potential for it. That has to be the case, because a company would not simply act against its own financial interests and cut off something they've just put money into for no reason. That's just not going to happen. That's the point, right?
If this is criminal, why wasn't this out in the public?
They banned Gideon for like a year.
It has to be something serious for them to do something crazy.
For nothing, because they went after his queen.
The settlement doesn't have to be connected to why they banned him. Well, it's not really at all. As far as I know. It's basically like, well, I mean, we don't know what it is at all. But it could be, yeah, you're absolutely right. It doesn't have to be. It could simply be, it could be that Twitch really probably could have won the lawsuit, but it wasn't worth spending the money, going through the time, and having to have everything dragged out in discovery for an actual court case. And so they just paid the settlement. They just paid off his contract and told him to fuck off. You can say, you can theorize that the settlement is to cut the contract short. You can theorize that, but you have no idea. You have no idea. It could have been that they were perfectly justified in cutting that contract and would not have had to have paid any of it out, and Doc would have lost in court. But they simply just didn't want to take it there. That could totally be the case. You have no idea what happened with the settlement. And to just say, oh, we know Doc won. We know Doc was in the right in the lawsuit. We knew Doc was in the right in the lawsuit, or some shit like this. That's not true. That was never true.
You cannot be a right-wing personality on Twitch, or even anything even akin to that, or close, or be a left-wing personality and piss and moan about fucking COVID. Hey, Casey, you're a moron, a stone moron. Are you literally saying the allegations of the evidence? Oh, yes, you are. And this is what I'm saying. They're a bunch of fucking fascists, or at least they behave that way. Let's see what he said.
Yo, checking in. Look, I opened Twitter. Bunch of my mentions are he, they, she, hey, they, fucking, I identify as a helicopter.
Oh, wow. That's even crappier. You didn't actually put the video about Dr. Disrespect. You put a trans video before. So this has nothing to do. So the video. Oh, moron. Are you literally saying the allegations of the evidence? Oh, yes, you are. And this is what I'm saying. They're a bunch of fucking fascists.
No, she didn't. No, Casey. Wait. Tommy's fucking retarded. This isn't two videos. This isn't two videos. It's just Nick Merckx ranting about trans people randomly at the start of one of his statements about Dr. Disrespect. It's not Casey Tron that's done this. See, look, he's pretending that it's everyone else doing the culture war shit while playing a clip of Nick Merckx doing the culture war shit. I can't, the self-awareness is so lacking.
They behave that way. Let's see what he said.
Yo, checking in. Look, I opened Twitter. Bunch of my mentions are he, they, she, they, fucking, I identify as a helicopter.
Oh, wow. That's even crappier. You didn't actually put the video about Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, for someone who claims to care so much about having all the evidence before he makes conclusions, this fucking retard sure does just assert shit as if with absolutely no basis, even when the evidence for the contrary is right in front of him.
You put a trans video before. So this has nothing to do.
Tommy stops it. Tommy stops it. Tommy stops the video. It's not cut. It's not cut at all. Chud showed this same video the other day. He's just walking around his garden, walks into his house, starts off being like, bunch of they-thems on fucking Twitter. And then he's like, listen, man, I've been hearing some worrying stuff about this doc.
So the video has nothing to do with Dr. Disrespect.
Yes, it does, retard.
And he really didn't.
Wait, does he not even play the rest of it?
Video. He didn't defend him at all. He said, "You guys, because that's no good." He did say he was having a hard time with it.
Dude.
Well, if I thought Matt was doing something like that, I'd be fucking beside myself.
No way. Dude, that's so bad. This is like below Hassan tier coverage. This is like actually you're operating on room temperature IQ, unironically. Here's all right. I've got the original. Let's play the video that Tommy C didn't want to bother fucking watching because he wanted to spin a gay narrative about the culture war.
Look, yo, checking in. Look, I open Twitter. Bunch of my mentions are he, they, she, they, fucking, I identify as a helicopter. God damn it. And I seen the couple tweets about the doc. I'm as taken back as a lot of you guys are, okay? But the fact remains that these are some crazy accusations. Crazy. Big time accusations. And until we know more, until we know them as fact, until they've been proven with evidence, what are we talking about? What's anybody talking about? As far as the leave the little kids alone stuff, this doesn't make it any further from the truth. Leave little children out of your shit. Have a nice day. Yo.
So, I mean, that is the video. That's the video. That's the same one I saw on Chud's. What is he on about? This guy's so fucking stupid. How does he not realize that he's the biggest, like, culture war retard going? How does he not get this? But not even like, he's not even like one of the cool culture war people who's like one of the figureheads who's like pushing it and kind of recognizes that it's a bit of a grift and is trying to just push it and inflame people. He's the dunce. He's the mark. He's the mark. He's the retard fucking drone who's just clicking on shit, absorbing retarded propaganda by the most dumb fuck influencers online, and then spouting off stupid shit that's totally uninformed. He's the mark. He's not even the cool ones, the good ones. While sitting there calling everyone else fascists. Okay, retard.
I would. I'd feel destroyed. It's mind-boggling that people are confident Dr. Disrespect is a pedophile without a single screenshot or evidence. That's not a ridiculous take. Why are you so invested in people going along with what you think? Why? That is reasonable. What's unreasonable, what is truly fascist, is...
I'm sorry, but in this stream, Dr. Disrespect, absolutely, I don't even disagree with this tipster tweet. I gotta be real. I don't even disagree with this tipster tweet. In that doc stream, he was acting super fucking... Oh, I think I just need to go to Costa Rica. I'm gonna just leave the internet forever. Okay, man.
Is saying, why aren't you following along like Casey Hutron is? Because Twitch said so. Twitch will get rid of somebody because they don't have the same politics. You have to be a communist. There is no right-wing personalities in Twitch that would last. They would hit them with a million fucking things. They get them off immediately. So it's really easy to believe this guy talked about COVID, that they would be that biased. It's really easy to believe that Rob.
Wait, he's saying it's because Dr. Disrespect said something about COVID. Wait, seriously? That's Tommy's thinking here? He thinks that Dr. Disrespect is being hit with bullshit pedo allegations because he said something about COVID. Dude. I didn't even know Dr. Disrespect said anything about COVID. What? Who is thinking about that? Nobody's thinking about that.
Odd would be that biased. It's really easy to come along with that. If you ask a guy, did you sex him on her, and the answer is anything other than no, then yeah, I'm pretty confident it's weird. And that's unbelievably bad faith, because at that point, nobody asked him. Nobody asked him.
Play it back. Is that what you said generally, or is that... Okay, yeah, I'll play it for you.
Casey Utron is, because Twitch said so. Twitch will get rid of somebody because they don't have the same politics. You have to be a communist. There is no right-wing personalities in Twitch that would last. They would hit them with a million fucking things. They get them off immediately. So it's really easy to believe, this guy talked about COVID, that they would be that biased.
He's saying this guy talked about COVID. It's really easy to believe they would be that biased. He starts talking generally, and then he says about Dr. Disrespect specifically, and says this guy talked about COVID. It's really easy to believe they would be that biased that they would hit him with bullshit texting and minor claims. Okay.
Really easy to believe that Rod would be that biased. It's really easy to come along with that. If you ask a guy, did you sex him on her, and the answer is anything other than no, then yeah, I'm pretty confident it's weird. And that's unbelievably bad faith, because at that point, nobody asked him. Nobody asked him.
Johnny Velocity, I kind of get what you're getting at there, but I think you're wrong. Like, Nick and all that shit don't think Tipster is the tip of the spear of the culture war. They just hate the guy. Like, Nick just fucking hates Tipster. And we'll just take... If Nick sees what he thinks is a layup on Tipster, he's going to take it. Every time. I mean, he'll say that. He would perfectly happily pound Tipster into the dirt, I think.
He said he didn't do it. He was still under NDA at the time, so it's just bad faith crap from Vito. He went to his lawyers, then he talked about it. People didn't accept it. Goodbye. Ultimately, at the end of the day, your people, the people that follow you, decide whether you're legitimate or not. And I got news for you. You guys trying to pedo jacket everybody else and flip out because your authoritative sources like Twitch and Rod Brislow Slasher aren't being believed. First of all, most of that's your own fault because you're all partisans. You're all culture warriors.
You're all partisans. You're all culture warriors. Everyone at this giant corporation is a partisan and a culture warrior. Every journalist is a partisan and a culture warrior. Everyone who believes this is a dude. This is your brain is rotting out of its skull. Your brain, I can see it seeping.
And the other thing is, there's other things that have been going on in the last 6 years in the media that would give people a lack of trust. We also have the IMIA situation. We have the Saptai situation. Nick's been through it all as far as false allegations or things being twisted.
Sorry, how many of those included mainstream news publications? Sorry, which I'm Alex allegation, which I'm Alex false allegation did he get ran through Bloomberg? Could you remind me on that one, Tommy?
Into something that they're not. So it's responsible. This guy is demanding you be irresponsible. Why? Why do you want it that way, Vito? Why?
He's not demanding you be irresponsible at all. He's making a very clear statement that is just true. If you ask a guy, did you sext a minor, and his answer is anything other than no, then yeah, I'm pretty confident something weird occurred. Because that's true. There is no NDA in the world, which is what people were arguing, was that there would be an NDA stopping this. There is no NDA in the world that would have stopped Dr. Disrespect from saying, when he got accused, from making a clear statement, I never sexually interacted with a minor. I have never done that. That's conduct that's below me. I'm a husband, a father, a family man, and I hate pedophiles, just like you. Nothing would have stopped him. No NDA in the world would have stopped him from saying that. But he didn't say that, did he? He responded specifically to the lawsuit. He was talking specifically about the ban and the lawsuit, and never replied to the allegation of misconduct. He said, I did nothing wrong, but he was kind of talking about in the context of the lawsuit there. He was talking about the ban and the lawsuit. That no wrongdoing was acknowledged. We all walked away from it. That's what he's saying there. I did nothing wrong is a subjective judgment. And his lawyers probably said that was fine to say because he wasn't found to have done anything wrong as part of the legal proceedings.
I remember talking to you on a phone in Spain after the Mama Max called you a pedophile, and you were melting down, talking about calling your uncle and getting a lawyer.
Well, the thing is, this is at the climax of the story, right? I'm pretty sure they're referring to the statement. They're saying things that were said in the statement that Dr. Disrespect put out. So this must be after he's admitted it. And like the entire stream is not about the admission. It's not about the Bloomberg article. It's all just about all the people who believed the allegations based on slightly less evidence than he did. And how they're all fascists. And this is his Dr. Disrespect drama stream. It's like, if this is your only focus and you don't even talk about the allegations, like, yeah, it's going to seem like you're fucking just kind of on his side. Isn't it?
And Nick is doing due diligence and you're trying to shame him? You're practically in a meltdown when I talk to you. I've stuck up for you on this stuff. I've stuck up for nuanced takes on cuties. You hung around with a guy that said he was attracted to the girls.
Problem? Max Carson owns
I remember last year he tried to back away
Ben
from
Shapiro had a nuanced take on cuties.
I seriously doubt that. I seriously doubt
I didn't have to
it was
make a fucking
particularly
jackass
nuanced.
of myself the last goddamn 3-4 years since that movie came out. And
it was probably because it had some criticism of the Muslim faith. I believe that's probably why Ben Shapiro had a quote unquote nuanced view on cuties. I would imagine, me personally, that's what I would guess as a stab in the dark.
So every time something pedo comes up, I stick myself in the middle of it. And now you're trying to pedo jacket everybody else? What is it, because of revenge? Or are you stupid? Vito, I got news for you. You're a talented comedian. You're really funny. There's no doubt about it. I actually like you. You're a good guy offline. You're somebody I actually could talk to if I felt like talking to people. But here's the thing. You're not a political mind. You are not sophisticated. You do not have a lot of wisdom.
Look who's talking.
You see yourself as some kind of left-leaning genius.
See, this is just total projection. He's literally he's on his stream. He's like, everyone else just wants to talk about politics. We're talking about politics the entire time. Vito does not think he's a fucking genius. Vito does not think he's a fucking genius. He does not think he's some political commentator. He talks about culture war stuff. He does sort of like anti-quartering content. He knows it. He knows what he is. He knows it's slop. He goes on Biggest Problem. He does his comedy stuff. I don't think he thinks he's a genius at all. At no point have I ever gotten the sense from Vito that he thinks he's a fucking genius.
And you're not. You're not equipped. That's not stuff for guys like you and me. And you just make a jackass of yourself. And you know what? So much so that everybody knows he's
Vito does think he's smarter than Masterson, ironically. The thing is that Dick is like clearly not dumb. He's like intentionally dumb. He chooses to be stupid, which is very frustrating. But also you can tell he's not actually dumb.
Vito the pedo, right? Coming from me, it's just from love and we're just busting balls. But you know, it's a good part of the fucking internet. I mean, people even use my relationship with you to
welcome back, Max. Long time no see.
Food Shops super chatted $19.99. Be nice. Tommy Kiz like Sniffy Bitey, he's old and confused. Let him ramble to his 150 viewers and get his checks from Kim Akeem doing daycare work over Scammy Boogie.
Thank you for the $20, Max. Thank you.
Paint me as one. You put yourself in that position because you don't know what you're doing. You think you're smarter than everybody.
Okay. It's really hard to believe Twitch when someone had to go back 3 years to find something sketchy. I just wonder how lewd/brave the comments were. It's hard to hate when there's so much unknown. This is what I'll say about that, okay? This is the information we have. It was only reported 3 years later. So it was only reported 3 years later. That's why they only got it 3 years later. Is because the miner in question didn't report it until 3 years later. If you want to make wild speculation about why that might have been, around that time was the kind of Twitch Me Too era, where all the big streamers were getting hit and orgs and shit were getting hit with allegations of sexual misconduct. So it was possibly spurred on by that, but obviously can't draw firm conclusions there. Now, Rolling Stone have allegedly verified some of the details of the messages, which I assume is based on the incident reports floating around behind the scenes that Richard Lewis talked about. And they said the text messages were sexually graphic and involved plans to meet up. That's what they said about them. That also is corroborated by Cody Connor's initial allegation, who said that Doc planned to meet up. Now, there's some argument about that because it wasn't illegal. So it could possibly be that the way he phrased it was something like, "What are your plans at TwitchCon?" Not, "Hey, let's meet up at TwitchCon. I've got a hotel there." So he was legally in the clear while still being morally in the wrong.
But you're not. You're just a YouTuber. You're just a comic. You're just a guy that lives in LA. Can you be happy with that? I mean, you told me that you're making all sorts of money and you're doing good. Can you be happy with that? You have to be seen as some kind of intellectual on top of it? Why? I don't consider myself that way. Why is it so important to you? Is it that empty? I don't know, get married, have kids. You don't give a fuck about how you're seen politically or how wise and knowledgeable you are and or how lefty you are, how smart you are. Nobody gives a shit once you actually have something to do. I don't care. I'm not a culture warrior. I'll talk about the shit. Well, nobody can say that who swung more on fucking quartering than me.
Okay, buddy.
But if you're going to go after quartering, I don't even go after him on his politics. I go after him on the stupid fucking stuff he does. The drunk streaming. That's your lane, man. That's your lane.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people. Basically, everyone sort of was theorizing that part of the reason for the lawsuit was that Twitch had been looking through whispers, like without consent. But that doesn't seem to be true. The girl reported it, so they had consent to look at the whispers because the girl had reported the messages.
Hypocrisy, sure, that's your lane.
Not that I even know. I imagine it's probably in the TOS that they can look through your whispers anyway. I'll be real.
Guy, being a YouTube intellectual, somebody that's well versed in politics. First of all, you're not really well versed in politics. You're well.
I don't know. It hasn't been confirmed. It's a girl. I'm just assuming that Doc's straight.
Versed with left wing talking points. There's a big difference. God, that shit's so boring too.
He might be a gay pedophile. Who knows? Who knows? Wouldn't that be crazy? If he was a gay pedophile?
God, culture war. You just tell everybody just tell everybody you're partisan. Tell everybody you're left wing partisan. I've considered myself a partisan before. I was definitely a right winger. I changed to libertarianism and everything.
You're a partisan now, bro.
You're not really well versed in politics. You're well versed with left wing talk. That's your lane.
Wait, I need to hear this. This is fucking brilliant.
Well, nobody can say that who swung more on fucking quartering than me.
Okay, buddy.
But if you're going to go after quartering, I don't even go after him on his politics. I go after him on the stupid fucking stuff he does. The drunk streaming. That's your lane, man. That's your lane. Point out his hypocrisy. Sure, that's your lane. Being a smart guy. Being a YouTube intellectual, somebody that's well versed in politics. First of all, you're not really well versed in politics. You're well versed with left wing talking points. There's a big difference. God, that shit's so boring too.
Like, how would Tommy even have context now? I don't think Tommy knows fuck all about politics. I'm going to be real. He's yapping at Vito.
God, culture war. You just tell everybody just tell everybody you're partisan. Tell everybody you're left-wing partisan. I've considered myself a partisan before. I was definitely a right-winger. I changed to libertarianism, and I realized you don't really need those labels. But you know what happens is when you get on a fucking team, then you have to go along with what the team's doing. Other side,
dog, you're clearly still on a fucking team. This is just some crazy delusion. What is going on, man?
Just be yourself. Be yourself. Why are you holding this strict standard now?
Food Shops super chatted $9.99. Twitch doesn't care if they break their own rules, Toe. I mean, just look at who doesn't makes their permaban list. Paragraph RS.
Okay, well, that is technically the stuff that the e-girls do is technically in the rules. That's within the rules. However, you are right, but the better example is the Fansly one, right? Or the Fan House one, whatever it was fucking called, where Twitch have rules explicitly about not promoting explicit content on their platform. But they allowed QT Cinderella at the Streamer Awards to take a sponsorship from an OnlyFans competitor. So that you are right, but it's just that's not actually a violation of their own rules. Thank you for the $9.99.
And you were arguing for fucking nuance on the Cuties video. You're a hypocrite. Or are you just so filled with revenge? Because you were treated unfairly. Really unfairly.
It's just a mob mentality, to be honest.
That's all this looks like. And whether you believe me or not, whether you think I'm an asshole or not, Vito, here's the thing. Most people think that. You just picked a team. Because here's the thing. Something I noticed.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That had no age gate at the time. Yeah, sorry. Fan House or Fansly, whatever it was, had no age gate at the time and allowed you to sign in with your Twitch account, didn't it? You could literally like sign it, auto-connect your Twitch account. So it was like fucking 2 clicks away from seeing someone's blown out pussy.
Right? With his left and right stuff. Most people in the army, they're not what
I
you
love
think
Tommy,
they are.
he's
They're
got
not
Irish
bleeding
IQ.
fucking patriots constantly pounding their chest about America, America, America. It's not like that in there. There's a few guys like that, and everybody else just wants to get the fucking day and get paid. That's it. That's the truth. Sorry, right-wingers. Most of the guys I know just want to have a good time, get some pussy, and go party. Sorry, right-wingers. Work hard, train hard.
What is Blood even yapping about? What is he on about? This is like the weirdest old man rant I've ever heard.
Well, this looks like, and whether you believe me or not, whether you think I'm an asshole or not, Vito, here's the thing. Most people think that. You just picked a team. Because here's the thing. Something I noticed in the army, right? With his left and right stuff. Most people in the army, they're not what you think they are. They're not bleeding fucking patriots constantly pounding their chest about America, America, America. It's not like that in there. There's a few guys like that, and everybody else just wants to get the fucking day and get paid. That's it. That's the truth. Sorry, right-wingers. Most of the guys I know just want to have a good time, get some pussy, and go party. Sorry, right-wingers. Work hard, train hard. Don't pick a team. Be yourself. I'm the comment cop.
Guys, can someone explain to me what this comment means? I got a comment on my Brianna Wu video essay that says, fucking Starship Invaders is the intro. You've earned my sub, my undying loyalty. Now please stay away from preschools and ranches. What? Why?
The entirety of Dr. Disrespect entirely relies. Are you trying to discredit people that do their due diligence? Is that the idea here? Am I onto something? The entire allegation, Dr. Who relies on the word of a former Twitch woman who was quote trying to sell information. That's reasonable. That being said, at least I'm the least sued ever been. Guys, lawyers work weekends. I don't think they had a few things they just needed to get before they circled back to this. I'm also a little irked that Jake, who is very clearly trying to split the difference with what he thinks half his potential audience is. So he's mad at Jake for being careful? Jake is usually you know what? If you leaned on him a little, Cody, he'd probably fucking come along because Jake is as dumb as a brick. Jake is the dumbest social media influencer that I've ever come across.
Dude, is Jake Lucky that bad? Really? What has Jake Lucky even done? It's that bad. What? Sorry, what's the source on this? I just searched Jake Lucky controversy, and all I can see is people crying that he called Speed racist for the fucking Konnichiwa. I don't understand. What's the? It's just got to be this slasher stuff, hasn't it? It's just because Tommy C's brought into this retarded narrative that Slasher's a sexual harasser, and so he's mad that Jake Lucky put up a tweet saying these allegations are retarded. That's it, isn't it? That's got to be it. That's what I'm seeing here, because he mentioned that earlier. And what he's saying, Jake's dumb and easily manipulated, so Slasher manipulated Jake. That's basically his conspiracy theory. Okay.
Leaned on him a little, Cody, he'd probably fucking come along, because Jake is as dumb as a brick. Jake is the dumbest social media influencer that I've ever come across. He is bone stupid and easily manipulated. Half the potential audience, but I also deserve to feel bad.
I mean, the sexual harassment
flagged. I do. I also think that Jake is racing to verify the screenshot. Why are you concerned that he's trying to verify things? That's what you're saying.
He's not concerned when he says. I also know Jake is Jesus Christ. Jake is racing to verify that screenshot from the world's leader in multiplayer entertainment is legit. Enforcement ID, blah blah blah, and things are dragging on. He's not criticizing him for trying to verify it. He's like, yeah, he's racing to verify it. He's saying, like, yeah, he's trying to get verified. That's not a problem. And things are dragging on. Knowing who I was racing, I would probably put out some content too. So he's saying that Jake's racing Keemstar, and that Keemstar's likely to break the story before it's ready, I think. That's my interpretation here. So Jake's throwing out, he's like, I understand why Jake's throwing out content about me, because he's got to keep the story going while he tries to verify this screenshot and doesn't want Keemstar to get all the attention. That's how that reads to me. He's not saying it's a problem that Jake's trying to verify the screenshot.
Supposed to do. Why do you want him not to do that? Why does that side? He's
not saying that. He's not saying he doesn't want him to verify it. No one's saying they want him to verify it.
It's scary.
Obviously, people won't verify.
It's scary, and you know damn well that if there's somebody on their team, they'd be screaming due diligence, and they'd be right.
That's the world we live in.
You're just a partisan. You're just a culture warrior. Why are you trying to verify this stuff? Why are we trying to, Nick is, maybe that's why Nick is known for crossing every T and like overdoing the optics thing. Another guy, Chud, overdoes it. We're trying to discredit them? You don't want people doing that? Is this
Nick
really
and Chud overdo the optics thing from the guy sitting there saying, making fucking broad, oh, this is how I think the internet will react statements and not coming down with a firm conclusion and spending his entire time talking about the culture war and not the actual allegation? Okay, bro.
If it is, you're a fascist. You're a legit fascist. There's no way around, because that's how they roll.
Chud does the optics thing on pedo topics.
Jake Lucky did his due diligence. Good for him. But this is what Jake Lucky has to put up with. This is probably why he hasn't done it always.
And he says, "Oh, I've got kids. I've got kids." Kuihman, why are you telling me I've got to stake a position on it? Why are you trying to make me say controversial things? I've got kids, mate. I've got kids.
He's afraid of Rod.
That's Chud.
And none of them like him. They don't think he's a moron, and he is. You ever see him talk? Do you ever see him saying, "Oh, Jessix,
you Rod also have kids? That's a different issue."
Have a job at Overwatch. He couldn't have got you. Therefore, your story has been debunked. Have you ever seen that guy? He's a big musclehead. A moron. And he does the right thing. And he's mad at, well, because Jake's got an audience. It's really funny.
Oh, well, in that previous tweet, Vito replied to it. So,
what did he say?
He just went on.
The entire
This
allegation
finding-
against Dr. Zuhu relies on the word of former Twitch employee. No, it doesn't. Other people have made the same exact claim. They're not fucking credible because they're partisans. Cody is
So like he's the bro. He's just like I disregard anyone with a different political leaning to me, bro. Like what did Vito say? Vito said the entire allegation against Dr. Disrespect currently relies on the word of a former Twitch employee. No, it doesn't. Other people have made the exact same claim as to why Doc was fired. Cody's irrelevant. So when was this posted?
fucking credible because they're partisans.
Why? Who? This must be about the Bloomberg article, right?
Cody is irrelevant. So a mass group of faceless fucking people that are known to be on one side of the culture war all said the same thing at the same time. And then the right response. Who?
Oh, right. No, here we go.
To be on one side of the culture war all said the same thing at the same time. And then the right response. Who?
Food Shops super chatted $9.99. If Chud did Roblox commentary instead of Rantzone segments, I think he'd be less dad brains today.
Thank you for the $10, Max. Dad brain is a classic reference.
Vito, if you actually, and I don't believe you believe this, you're an idiot. And I don't believe you believe this because you'd want people to do their due diligence if they were trying to figure out if you were a pedo or not. You want them to, you wouldn't want somebody to, let me ask you something. You would want me to call you a pedophile.
There's not even an allegation of Vito interacting with a minor. There's not even an allegation of that.
And Nick Merckx and the Quartering all said so at the same time. And all their fucking employees said so too. You'd want me to take that seriously? You'd want me to put that out there and say I thought there's something to it, or there could be something to it? I mean, why would Jeremy lie? You would really want that? I wouldn't want that. And here's the thing, here's the difference between me and you, Vito. I wouldn't do it to get even. And that's probably what you're doing. I'm not quite sure what you're up to. I think you think you're on the team, you're probably not. You're totally expendable. Fat white guys are completely expendable.
Oh, now he's just like talking about his own insecurities, man. This is so crazy. Vito doesn't think he's on any fucking team. I don't think Vito is expecting to be allowed into the progressive mainstream. I don't think that's where Vito sees himself. He co-hosts a show with Dick Masterson, for fuck's sake. He doesn't see himself as on the fucking team, dude. You're the one who's fighting teams here. Oh my god.
But I don't understand. Like, people are doing the fucking right thing. And you're angry with them. Hey, they said it. What are you guys doing? Why are you looking more and more into it? And all that does is make people want to look into it more. They makes them want to see the logs. It makes them want to see what the actual interaction was. I had a guy write me today, if you want to see the actual interaction, I'm paraphrasing, you must be a pedo yourself. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I saw that. You should be investigated by the FBI.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, but you freaks say that shit all the time. Well, commentary. Okay. Commentary efforts. Suddenly hating getting a taste of their own medicine. Dude, that's like the entire commentary community. Whenever someone has a slightly out of line take on some pedo. Well, check his hard drives. Check his hard drives. Are you a pedophile? That's every single time.
Yeah, it's FCP. I mean, really graphic stuff can be blocked, and we can use our imagination. I guess you're gonna, if I listen, little girl, I want to lick your black. We can do that. Are we adults here? Can we handle that? I mean, somebody's got to look at it before they lock him and throw away the key. Oh my god! If Vito gets fucking done like this, I am going through it. I'm not gonna fucking. I'm gonna remind him, because a bunch of people get together fucking tomorrow.
Has Tommy not done that? It seemed like he was kind of doing that with Mr. Girl just a minute ago. It seemed like he was kind of doing that with Mr. Girl like just now. No.
But accuse you of something that's unverifiable. It is fucking morally wrong. You gotta wait. Why are you angry that people want to do the right thing and you're not the only one? That makes you look like a creep of a different order. It makes you look like a fascist. That was the one.
I know. I saw one tweet.
It wasn't the same thing. It wasn't the full-blown check his hard drives, but it was doing the, you said you were attracted to the girls and cuties. If anyone here's the pedophile, he was doing that whole thing.
What's this one here? I got to switch. Anissa Chelma. I got Anissa Chelma. Now, we could always pass this person up to being a moron, and we wouldn't be wrong. It's insane. This is 22nd. It's insane that I see creator attempting to defend Dr. PDF with we can't believe accusations. What, do we believe all accusations then? I mean, what do you mean? And he's like, line, there's a comment right below. You know, I can understand.
That's not, wait, this is such a this guy can't read. Tommy's actually illiterate. This guy can't, he can't read. He's illiterate. What does this Anissa tweet actually say? He can't process, he can't pass it. This is crazy. Anissa saying, it's insane that anytime I see a creator attempting to defend Dr. PDF with the we can't believe accusations line, so she's not even necessarily disagreeing with that, she's saying every time I see him, every time I see someone defending him with that line, right below it, there's a comment right below it about how kids over a certain age know what they're doing. Some of you need a wake-up call. So she's saying at this point, when there's credible sources suggesting that he was banned for messaging a minor, and your fan base can't make its mind up about whether it's actually fine to sex kids sometimes, or if the accusations are untrue, that's probably time to do some self-reflection. I think that's a relatively reasonable take from Anissa. So obviously, it's a bit gay in talking about the audience responsibility stuff, but within the terms of things Anissa says, not that crazy. Not that crazy.
And if there were people out there that were still defending him in big numbers.
And not what Tommy's portraying it as either.
You're attempting to defend Dr. PDF with we can't believe accusations. What, do we believe all accusations then?
Not what she said.
What
That's not what she's saying. That's not remotely what she's saying.
Line, there's a comment right below. You know, I could understand if there were people out there that were still defending him in big numbers that were like, well, let me see what Dr. DisRespect, and Dr. DisRespect admits it. And then let me see the logs, and the logs are out there, right? Well, let me see even more. And then no matter what you put out, it's not.
How do you know she's not lying?
Yeah.
You know,
how do you know she's
age?
not lying? How do you know? Then we're not there yet. I got news for you. We're not there yet. Twitch isn't a reasonable source.
But okay, bro, how is he not seeing the other half of this tweet?
You know, you really got to wonder about Slasher. All right, he was told.
I feel there must be no content for covering Tommy C solo content. No, I just saw a 5-minute video he put on Twitter the other night, and then I argued with him yesterday. So now we're A-logging him. Or we're just A-logging him for a bit. We'll move on after today. It's just this one stream I wanted to watch.
Clearly. Can we all agree? He was told. He knew what it was. Yeah. He knew what the allegations were. He's an independent reporter, right? Guess who stopped him more than likely? I don't need a screenshot for this. So maybe you can agree with me. Who told him to stop? Twitch. Twitch. Was he under any journalistic?
I say debate. It wasn't a debate. It was a screaming match. It was a screaming match.
After he was already told to keep that quiet. Probably not. But when you're an esports reporter and you have a connection with Twitch, you can't burn it.
Yep.
So he's not really a journalist.
It was on Chuds. The video went up on my channel today. You can go see it. It's on my channel.
And maybe they don't want it out there because Rod would have kept something quiet that he didn't journalistically, ethically have to. That's really bad. Maybe something really bad. Maybe Dr. DisRespect, maybe she was 12. And Rod kept it quiet because Switch told him to.
I don't know, just total conspiracy shit. Twitch told him to keep it quiet.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, now it's maybe. I don't know.
Rod?
Why'd you keep it quiet,
Would your
Rod?
career be over?
Because he couldn't verify it.
This is not
because you couldn't verify
I haven't
it.
mentioned the girl fucking once. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck, and neither does Vito, and neither does Nisa, neither does anybody. It's just a matter of fucking putting that guy out of business. And you know what? Fine, fuck him. He did the crime, do the time. But you guys don't give a rat's monkey's fucking ass about that girl. Not a fucking. You don't care about her at all. I don't either. But at least.
It's just that all his streams are like this. His only good solo content was when he was defending Zerka and Hillmike and saying we need to bring back celeb 18-year-old countdowns on Howard Stern. Okay, cool.
You have the balls to admit it. I don't have to. I don't feel like I should be forced into grandstanding.
No one's forcing him into grandstanding. What is he? He's so delusional.
I mean, like, if this happened to Ben Shapiro, there would be a lot of people on the right, the political right. There'd be like they'd be doing the mental gymnastics as well, right?
Yeah,
and they would definitely be doing this if this happened. 100%. They'd be no different, probably worse because it's deeply in it's like Washington politics type stuff. But I mean. You guys are doing the same fucking.
Yeah, if Tommy C is talking about if he unironically said we should bring back 18-year-old countdowns, and is out here suggesting that Mr. Girl is a threat to minors, that's very frustrating. Because the 18-year-old countdown shit, that's like as groomy as it gets without being like actual. Because like you're literally planning it, right?
You know?
Okay, buddy.
There's a comment right below. You know what you're doing. Some of you all need a wake-up call. Well, she's pedo jaking everybody ahead of time. She doesn't care. We can't believe the accusations like that. Yeah, like that's first of all, nobody said that. So she strawmanned. I don't know whoever she's talking to. Speaking in generalities. See if Vito liked the tweet. Which one is this one that's got me blocked? Oh, Mr. Guerra P. I see a 17-year-old consenting to sexual conversation. He could have inseminated her, and it wouldn't have been illegal. Unfortunately, he just sexted her. Keep it going, Dr. Disrespect.
If she would have been retarded, he would have had not to worry about it, and then he could have just dropped her out in the forest.
I personally...
Okay, Matt Pitt's accent is fucking terrible.
People don't trust your industry. They have no respect for esports journalists.
So we'll say he did couch it a bit more then. Earlier he was saying, what else is there? What other explanation is there? For Slasher keeping quiet. He couched it a bit more there in speculation.
And they have no respect for people that are closeted partisans. Culture warriors. That's another word for culture warrior. You're a culture warrior.
It's still just conspiracy, though. It's literally
Jeremy chose a side. Yellow Flesh chose a side. Heel versus Babyface chose a side. And that's not wrong. That's not wrong. I'm a liberal. I believe in this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But if you say that, then you can't do stuff like this. And be, but yeah, you want the upper hand in all fucking cases and no principles. None. I'm sorry this didn't go the way you thought. I'm sorry you didn't get Nick Merckx and Tim the Tap Man. But it was because it's just like when those guys at Twitch told you that we got them. It's over. FBI, open up. They didn't know what they were doing. They're a bunch of fucking children.
What?
None. I'm sorry this didn't go the way you thought. I'm sorry you didn't get Nick Merckx and Tim the Tap Man. But it was because it's just like when those guys at Twitch told you that we got them. It's over. FBI, open up. They didn't know what they were doing. They're a bunch of fucking children. And you don't know what you're doing either. You don't know what you're
spoiler alert, they got Nick Merckx. Well, Nick Merckx got Nick Merckx because he's a fucking moron. Yeah, I'm just going to say a hard slur on my Twitch stream. I'm going to say hard slurs on my Twitch stream. Fucking awesome, bro. What a Chad.
You're not important. You're just a guy hustling to get money.
Fucking a victim mindset. And he just goes and breaks the rules. Anyway, 2 seconds.
That's it. You're just a guy that used to play a lot of Quake, and good on you. somehow turn that into a huge career. You're just a guy really trying to hang on. So, yeah, Rod was kind of in a bad spot. When you're worried about what Nick DiOrio thinks of Bloomberg, give me a break. Didn't you have bigger fish to fry? No, you do gaming. And you're like most of these sports reporters, too. They just do sports. It's not enough of them. Man, nobody respects me. I'm a sports reporter. Nobody expects me. I'm an esports guy. I'll speak in platitudes. I'm on left-wing issues. Everybody sees through that. The only people who don't see through that are you, because all your friends, everybody you surround yourself with is like that. If you remember Ben Affleck when he made a jackass himself and the last time he did a political show on Bill Maher about 12 years ago? Do you remember that, Matt? When Batman went over to Steve Harris? Now. Steve Harris was like a fucking doctor, a physicist, and everything else, right? They started arguing over Islam. And, he starts, the typical easy go-to, you're a racist because you don't agree with me. Harris takes him apart. It gets to the point where Affleck rubs his head and starts doing this shit. He just completely got obliterated. Didn't help that Maher was like, Ben, listen to what he's saying. You can't just call this guy a bigot. You got to do a little better than that. Interesting. Harris became Ben Affleck in the next 10 years, but that's another story for another time. Now, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? All right.
Yeah.
Right. And Opie and Anthony hit that on the motherfucking head. And this is what you guys are, because you all fucking suck each other's dick. It's a big fucking hug box. All right. This is why you are the way you are. This is why you fucked up the story. This is why that Nick DiOrio doesn't believe you. This is why that this Dr. Disrespecting didn't have the sting that you thought it would. All right. Because when Ben Affleck goes to work, he's got a bunch of people working for him. And this is Opie. I'm going to take this from Opie and Anthony, not me. He sits around, and when he needs to feel strong and important because he's really just an actor, just an entertainer, and that's really not that important in the grand scheme of things. You're a clown, dance for me, clown, right? He makes all these political points, and he's got people around him that depend on him, and they go, Ben, I never thought of it that way before. Wow, that's a really interesting way. I was on the other side of this issue until I talked to you, Ben. Ben hears enough of that, and he thinks he can argue with a doctor and his physicist and somebody that has actually done his studying.
That's literally happening to this guy right now. Matt Pitt is sitting there nodding along like a fucking retard the entire time, hyping him up on this stupid shit. Dude, he's literally describing himself. I can't believe this.
Same thing with you guys.
He just asked some girl in the call, you know what I'm talking about, right? She's like, yeah. And then he continues ranting. You are Ben. You are Ben in this analogy.
Still respect journalists like they may have at one time. I got news for you. I'm probably 10 years older than you, Slasher. That's been gone for a long time. Media can be worked, fixed, twisted. It was twisted in your Jessic's case. I was the only one that reported it legit.
Do you have a clip of that?
He was the only one who reported the Jessic's case legitimately. What? Dude, we just went over those DMs and he's totally wrong about them. What a fucking loser.
Futuristic attorney. As a 19-year-old attorney, I can tell you guys, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's a joke from the chat.
Yeah. Thank you, futuristic attorney. That's why nobody takes you seriously. You're taken seriously in your own little Twitch esports. I don't even think in esports because those guys seem all right, but your bubble doesn't work. You can't force square pegs into a round hole. Rod, you're not what you think you are. Your self-image is way, way, way bigger when it comes to importance than it actually is. And they probably think you're a liar too. You're definitely not. You haven't really truly passed the purity test, the lefty purity test, because we know about the Jessic's thing. We know you tried to strong arm her. Jesse was on the show yesterday.
He keeps saying this. He tried to strong arm her. That's not true. It's just not true. This is how that interaction went. Is Brittany single yet? I have a hate crush on her. You gotta hook us up. Also, that Bible reading stream was amazing. Lol. Surprised you're interested in her, considering how controversial she can be. And thank you. I had a lot of fun on that stream. Yeah, that's like the whole point. Does that mean you're going to help me out, Colon D? And yes, Bible readings every night, please. It's okay. I'm used to people only talking to me to get to Brittany. I'll ask. Lamel, you're welcome to ask me any favors. Hit me, Jess. Hitting. Anything Overwatch related, I got you. Want a job recommendation with Mayhem? I got you. Let me pay you back. So, he didn't strong arm her at all. You can say it's a little bit sleazy that he's like saying, hey, look, you hooked me up with this girl, I'll hook you up with any company you want. Any company I've got contact with, I'll try and hook you up with them to try and get a job with them. That's kind of sleazy to get a date like that, a little bit. But it's not strong arming. It's not Harvey Weinstein shit. It's not sexual harassment. It's nothing like that. It's nothing really untoward happened here. It's just a little bit sleazy. She accepted. He asked for a favor. She accepted. And then afterwards, he says, I owe you one. I'll sort you out. He's a fucking idiot. He's just totally lying about Slasher here.
And she said she was afraid to piss you off. Was it not last show, the show before that?
I think so.
Yeah, she said she was afraid to piss you off.
If she made an allegation, then it must be true. As I've heard from Tommy C, allegations are all the evidence we need.
Yeah, I know. Oh, she's a right-wing Christian. It's okay. You could have. Should we read all those those hate fuck things about Brittany Vendney? Why would you
hate fuck? He never said hate fuck. He said he had a hate crush.
Yeah, Brittany Vendney. Who cares if she's a right-wing kook? Who cares? I don't care. You care. And it's just like Nick said to me. The right-wing kooks will never fucking make a scene. The left-wing kooks always make a scene. They always make themselves known.
Okay, that's not true.
They're such fucking Karens. You're not that important. You're not what you think you are. You just need sports journalists. Thank your lucky stars you could have that dumb a job. I do. Let's take some calls. Thank your lucky stars. All right. What do we got? We got anybody there?
Yes, we do. You got 3 people.
Jimberly. I don't think that's true, Jimberly. Because if testimony can be an allegation, people will say allegation about someone's testimony, someone's recounting of an event. But testimony can be used as evidence. So it is evidence. So I don't think you're correct there at all, Jimberly. I think you're actually completely wrong. Testimony is not an allegation. That's why multiple testimonies are often needed to make a piece of evidence as a whole. Okay, but that assumes that everyone is using allegation and testimony as separate words. But they don't. They use allegation to describe testimony. You can have several people corroborating a story, and they will still call that allegations, right? They won't call that evidence. I agree. If you isolate the idea of an allegation as simply the claim that is being tested, or the claim that is being substantiated or disproven, if you simply count it as a claim, yeah, it's not evidence. Yeah, that is just the claim. That is just like the framework for the conversation. Or the framing, rather. But I think broadly, to say like when someone like Fulanko says allegations are evidence, there is kind of a point there, because people do use allegation to mean all testimony. Like if someone says something happened, they say that's an allegation. And if they've got screenshots or something else, or recordings, they call that evidence. But yeah, I agree with you that an allegation isn't evidence in the sense that an allegation is the claim that's being tested. Yeah.
Stinky Brew guy's been in waiting for like
I bet he's not
10 hours.
Yeah.
Stinky Brew, you there?
They've been in there the whole day.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put him out there. Doc Holliday, because I love Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday, go.
Hey, how you doing, Tommy?
What do you got?
Hey, I'm just kind of struggling with this whole situation.
Sure.
Like, obviously, with talking to a minor, you know, it's very easy to just jump on top of that and be like, man, fuck this guy.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But how would you even broach this conversation? You say you need to look at the logs and context involved, because it comes off as incredibly hard to defend the point where you're like, yeah.
I don't think you can. I don't think you really can defend it. I mean, you can say, I think you can say, because I'm not gonna like. I'll give you a perfect example. Somebody said something to me, and I think this is because this is what makes it defensible. And I wouldn't. By the way, I wouldn't shame this guy. This guy wrote me. He goes, part of me still wants to defend / want questions. Cancel him from and want questions from Dr. DisRespect. I don't know. So much question like this, like when did he find out she was a minor, or when was someone else aware?
Yeah, no, this is 100%. He told me this was before he admitted it, but no, they're referring to the admission constantly here. No, this was after he admitted it, and none of it's about the admission. It's all just about how the culture war people are trying to destroy Doc and Nick Merckx.
When was he aware that she wasn't? Stuff like that. He wants to know that before he fucking.
God, this guy's such a rat.
All right,
never trust.
My answer to this is, look, he probably would have said, "I didn't know how old she was." He didn't do that in his final statement. All right, so it's probably pretty bad.
It's either pretty bad or he's really retarded.
He's pretty bad or he's like super retarded. I know he did change the fucking thing 6 times, right?
In both cases, he should not have a public platform.
Somebody like you and somebody like this guy, I don't think this makes this guy a bad person. To want more, to want to know, because like I said before, and I'll go on record, if she was 17, and depending on what it was, if it was sexual innuendo, dick jokes, super inappropriate stuff to be talking with a high school student with,
okay, buddy,
I think he's an idiot, and more than likely the internet will let him go. I would be uncomfortable putting that guy near my fucking 16-year-old daughter. I'll be perfectly honest with you. That's pretty fucking. I don't know how to condemn somebody more than that. If I don't trust you, like walking by my kids, that's kind of a condemnation. Not a condemnation. It's I'm disavowing him.
What? That suggests, okay, when you say I wouldn't trust them around my kids, there's probably a lot of people you wouldn't trust around your kids. I don't know. It feels like you should actually have a pretty high bar for the types of people you trust around your kids. That should be like your highest bar. So I just don't feel like this makes much sense. But I understand what he's trying to say. I won't be totally bad faith about it, but holy fuck, that should be like a high bar. You should be like you should be very apprehensive about who you allow around your children.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. So like I guess what you're saying, and you could,
I personally don't want to defend him. I'm not. It's
big fun.
I love Kuihman, but I wouldn't trust him around my kids, not in a predator way, in a smoker way.
Would the logs even change anything? I think just some of the facts that have been admitted.
I think logs would probably make it worse.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that guy Cody knows exactly what's in them. The only thing that would be interesting is if he actually invited her over to the house or not, because and I said that even before I knew. That's
I mean,
unless he did the birthday pyro thing where he said, "Hey, everybody, meet me in front of the hotel." All right, I couldn't. And maybe he didn't know who she was, but he knew she was a minor. He would have specified otherwise. He's changed it 3-4 times, and he hasn't changed it to that. It's pretty clear that he knew he was doing something that was really wrong, could end his career, and it probably did.
His best bet is just take the money and run. Just get off the internet.
That might be the right thing.
He's sitting on a shitload of money right now.
Probably.
He's just if he wants to just go to South America like he was saying.
Maybe that's the move.
But
I do feel lied to. Tommy totally fucking misled me and claimed that he hadn't streamed since the admission came out. I'm pretty sure he said like exactly that, right? He hadn't streamed about the Dr. DisRespect admission. This isn't true. The admission's out here. They're talking about it. He's a fucking bullshitter. This guy's such a pussy, and he fucking totally spazzed out when I confronted him, refused to engage with any points, and then hung up because he was so mad. Can we check timestamps? 1 minute, probably. Tommy C post. Hello, me.
As soon as I found out, I'm posting memes about him eating cupcakes. Right. It's not like I can.
Your entire last stream, your stream at his admission wasn't about really the admission or Dr. DisRespect. It was all just about oh, these lefties who are actually fascists are trying to make us believe allegations without evidence. And that was like the entire stream.
Well, that wasn't a stream. That's first of all, that's interactive.
Right,
That was a tweet. That it was a 4-minute tweet that I made.
I just watched 4 minutes.
Let me finish. I watched half an hour. Let me finish. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm for a change. I'm not trying to be rude. Let me finish.
Okay, I watched half of that. It's not a 4 minute. I'm talking about the video on your channel.
Yeah, the video. The video on my tweet. And what
I'm correcting you. Channel.
A channel.
At least the first 30 minutes of that video is you talking about lefties, calling them fascists, saying that Casey Tron is a fascist, saying that Vito is a fascist.
Yes, I did. I think if you let me you gotta let me explain it. You have to let me explain it. Yes, I think it is fascist prior to the stuff coming out, and I made that abundantly clear, and I think that's interesting you're omitting it, that these people were going after other influencers that were giving Dr. Disrespect the benefit of the doubt prior to his admission. And I think that the only thing, it was like, come on, you know it. And I think that is fascist to kind of push the allegations is the evidence type narrative.
What does fascist mean?
What? Oh, come on. I'm not playing fucking Bread 2 games with them.
No, I'm just asking.
Oh, no, you are. No, I'm not.
I just want to know what the word means.
I
don't know what it means.
I'm not a bread tuber. I'm not a bread tuber. We're not getting into a definition game.
I'm happy to engage with your definition.
I know. I'm a clean admission. I think that's a little bit ridiculous, to say the least. But my show yesterday, you can say whatever the fuck you like. If people start doubling and tripling down on this stuff after Dr. Disrespect made a clean admission, I think that's a little bit ridiculous, to say the least. But my show yesterday was completely on what was said prior.
What was said prior to the admission?
Prior to the admission, man. I mean,
it wasn't though. It hasn't been just on what was said prior. Hasn't been. Vito tweets were like not that long ago on here. Okay.
Change your haircut. Say you're next wrestler.
Last thing you said something about Army Joes. The guys in my platoon there.
Yeah, and it was a stream. He told me there was no stream. He was like exclusively wants to talk about a 4-minute Twitter video for some fucking reason. Whatever.
They don't give a fuck. Like it's not who and shit. They're like, hey, I'm here for a paycheck. I'm here because I was.
No, I wouldn't say. I don't want to say I'm here for a paycheck. They worry about getting paid. Let me rephrase that.
No, Tommy didn't stream on 624. You just you're not. This stream was taken down. It was. You're looking at this, aren't you? Or this. This stream was taken down. This stream was after. This is just a video.
I mean, and I'm not saying nobody shows pride, but I don't see anybody saluting the flag absolutely like in their own bedroom or crossing themselves when they.
This is absolutely after the admission because it's after the Bloomberg article, which was like 3 hours before the admission, and they're talking about the admission and him editing minor in and out of the statement. So it's 100% after the admission.
A picture of
either that or Tommy C could literally see the future.
It's not 24/7. There are pages,
but based on how fucking terrible his takes are.
One at the time,
I doubt. People may call them the oracle.
People think or it's not with the
Chud may call them the oracle.
It's not all straight and narrow and like almost America worship. It's not like that. It's probably because they worship their own politics and their own political leaders, so they think anybody that would be willing to get killed.
By fascist, I think Tommy means a disregard for due process, which is dumb, but that's the best way I can make sense of it. I agree with you, but that still doesn't apply to the people he's saying it applies to. That doesn't apply to Vito. That's not what Vito is doing. Vito is saying stuff like, we've got numerous verified sources saying the reason for Dr. Disrespect's ban. That's not saying that Dr. Disrespect actually texted a minor or actually tried to meet up with a minor. That's saying we know the reason for the ban. We know what the ban reason that was given was. So it doesn't even apply to the people that he's saying it to. Because Vito wasn't making any allegations or condemnations that couldn't be substantiated by the evidence at the time.
For the United States probably feels much like they do. If I had to guess, it's a case of projection. But I know what you mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love my guys. You know, as their medic, you know, they're. I'd die for any one of them.
People love their guys more than they love their country.
And that's why, by the way, I was trying to say to him, I'll engage with any definition you give, because even then it doesn't apply to fucking Vito. And then when I ask him for a definition, he tries to give the super, I don't want to say bad faith, but a super, what I felt was dishonest definition, where he essentially said, "Oh, well, when I say fascist, I mean this situation right now." He was like, "Oh, fascism is when someone says that you should believe an allegation without evidence," and then he's like, and that's not even defining it. That's using it in a sentence. Fascism is when it's not even really a definition. And he's done it specifically to apply to just this context. Yeah, he was very scared that I was trying to trap him. And that's the thing, is it's clear he comes off very insecure. He comes off very insecure. He comes off like he's very scared of being made to look stupid and doesn't want to be questioned on his opinions. That's how it comes off.
That I can 100% say for. They love the people they serve with way more than I mean, I got that from Vega as well, by the way, Doc.
You're a bread tuber, so it doesn't matter.
Tommy, I appreciate you having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Take care. You know, one of the best things, you ever see Black Hawk Down? They even say it's about the man next to you. I mean, you know what what's his name? Michael Franzese says? What he misses most about the mafia, and he said nothing, and then he said, "No, hold up a second. There is something I meant: the camaraderie."
Did you buck down fascism? I was trying to hash out that point before moving on. I was trying to get through that point before moving on. I didn't realize that it was only going to be like a 20-minute conversation because Tommy was going to leave very quickly. I didn't realize it was going to be like that. I was ready for the long haul. So
addictive. It's probably the most addictive drug, is for men anyway, in the world. Camaraderie. That's why people join gangs. That's why they go to become bikers. That's why they do all that shit. Camaraderie is addictive, and it's also really dangerous, especially if the person at the top of that hierarchy is.
He left there because it wasn't making progress in the conversation. Yeah, but it wasn't making progress in the conversation because he decided very early on he was not going to let the conversation progress. He decided within about 5 or 10 minutes of it starting that he wasn't going to allow it to progress, and he made that clear. He repeatedly said, "I'm not playing your game," whatever that means. He was like being incredibly obstinate, so he sandbagged and then left.
A psychopath. Camaraderie's addictive. Let's take Mormon guy. He was there. Mormon guy.
Oh, sorry. Hey, how's it going?
What do you got for me?
Okay, so I'm kind of confused on the.
Okay, you go accept fascism means bad and take from there. Okay, but that's retarded. And I pointed out to him in the conversation when I started calling him a pedophile, because it's like I just think pedophile means bad. Pedophile just means bad. If I think you're bad, you're a pedophile. Like, that's so retarded.
Like, who all knew at Twitch at what point?
Nobody knows, and we'll probably never know.
But, okay, but you knew because you heard third hand from somebody. Mm-hmm. Destiny knew. Mm-hmm. This Cody guy knew.
No, let's say I knew. I knew somebody knew. I didn't know the contents.
Correct. So, but
I gotta be honest
with you, right?
If I thought a kid was in danger, I probably would have broke the source. So.
What? He didn't think a kid was in danger. It was 3 years ago.
So that's where I'm confused on this, because if Destiny knew, wouldn't any of these other top content creators got the same leaks?
They would have got a third or fourth hand, just like I did.
It seems like Destiny got.
That should be the new thing. You call everyone a pedo if they annoy you, and then later you clarify on Chuds that it's an inside joke and it means you're bad. That is a very easy way to get sued, I fear.
A straight hand. I don't
know. It feels
how,
like it. He started laughing before the guy said it.
So how that's
kind of forced, huh?
Well, so then Pokimane, Amaranth, any of those people did not have it?
I don't know.
The people that do sexual favors for employees to get unbanned or all this stuff, none of them had it?
I don't know. You're just giving me reasons never to trust Twitch. That's right, Casey Tron. I don't trust Twitch. I don't trust them to do the right thing or even make sense. You know, you're just giving me reasons. No, I don't know.
There's claims of sexual favors for unbans. I don't think that's ever been substantiated. There was that one guy, what was his name? Do you remember that one Twitch staff guy who was like trying to get in like Ego's DMs and offering them favorable treatments, and he was trying to extort that, but he got fired. That was like a whole big scandal. Yeah, Hassan with 2 S's. That was it. Yeah. He got fired, right? Yeah, Twitch fires employee Hassan Bakari over abuse of power. Yeah. Back when Destiny was good, real. See, I've not been seen that substantiated as a common problem, or one that Twitch is permissive of whatsoever. But Tommy doesn't give a fuck because he's completely sides-cucked and he'll believe anything, any bad thing that people say about lefty Twitch, because he's a QAnon fucking water-brain retard.
The guys, most of them had a third hand, like I did, third or fourth hand, and you can't come out with something that's third or fourth hand because you can't back up your statement.
Correct. Yeah. So I guess then, even with the question for Rod, then, right? So if he had a direct source,
yeah, he probably.
Why did he not think it was important enough to
That's
break?
A good question.
Dude, because just having one source that says it may not be enough. You don't know who that source is. You don't know what the evidence they were providing was. You don't know what contradictory claims Sasha may have been hearing at the time, which we know from Richard Lewis. There's apparently a lot of deliberate misinfo being spread behind the scenes. Like, it's just complete conspiracy brain rot.
I'd like to know that too. I'd love to ask Rod that. Why didn't you break it? Why didn't you break it? Because it was in Twitch best legal interest? Wait a minute. That's not your job.
Like, look at this. This is just insane. This is just totally unfounded jabbing. He's got no idea what he's talking about.
To support Twitch's best legal interest? No, the answer is he would fuck up his source permanently, and he probably doesn't have that many.
No, I haven't seen the Crucible thing with Dave Smith. I heard about it.
That's a big one. That's Amazon.
So I guess just my final thing.
And the other guy says, Diggy Haynes said, he could have got sued too. You got to be able to back this shit up. But if I had to guess, he knew. Maybe he was even sent something, was told, please don't do anything with him. They begged him out of it.
I mean,
just out of nowhere, just totally baseless.
A lot of journalist companies can say like they have an anonymous verified source. Sure. You would have been able to say that in the article.
And I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. He wants Nick DiOrio.
Guys, look, if this isn't a sub... Guys, I said, you better not be hassling that pit about this. I'm being told that this is being taken as a subtweet. It's not. I'm trying to change my sleeping schedule, and in my delusional state, this joke popped into my head and I laughed. That's it. But guys, someone's like, Matt Pitt's subtweeting you. I'm like, if Matt Pitt is subtweeting me, this is what I would say. And now he's like addressing the subtweet allegations. Okay.